I call this meeting back to order at 11:13 a.m. on Sunday, July 14th, as previously the room that we were in was not public noticed, but the room that we're in now is, and this room was locked up until right now. So we're going to repeat everything that was done in the previous meeting I guess, is what we're calling it. Mm-hmm. May every member of the committee please say their name for the record.
Joshua Yachik.
Jackson Ranson.
Matthew Bravo.
Daniel Weinberger.
Aaron Rubai as chair. Senator Monson as clerk. Any other members of the public here, please say your name for the record.
Senator Austin Britton.
Tyler Sklar.
All right, with 5 members present, quorum has been established. We are now in line for the consideration of SSB 2024-1444. Do I hear a motion to move into the consideration of SSB 2024-1461 by unanimous consent?
Submit.
All right. Do I hear a motion to create a block of legislation including the following bills read by Senator Monson?
So we had 1461, 1462, 1466, but 1466 had amendments though.
Yeah, that's fine. Include it. By unanimous consent?
Submit.
We're now on 5 minutes for presentation whenever you're ready.
I waive.
Now on 5 minutes of Q&A. Are there any questions? Seeing none. 5 minutes of debate. Seeing none. 2 minutes panel privilege.
Waive.
All right, we're now on for any motion at this time. Do I hear a motion to amend SSB 2024-1466 to include the following amendments? Can you please just state them out loud?
Of course.
Yeah.
So there is a clause that is clause 3 on this bill. It said 5 criteria shall be evaluated following. This is amended to the 5 criteria are defined by Black's Law Dictionary as follows. That is that amendment, and then there's a new clause. It's called clause 4 now under that subsection, and it says the purpose of these definitions is for the edification of authors of legislation shall be considered non-binding for deliberations and decisions for the Judiciary Committee.
By unanimous consent. Are there any
moved.
objections? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So moved. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. That block includes 61, 62, and 66. Okay. 63 and 64 have both been withdrawn. Are there any other motions at this time? We have to pass the block.
I move to pass the block of 1461, 1462, 1463.
Nope. 1466.
1466. That's all. By unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. And 63 and 64 have been withdrawn. We're now in line for SSB 2024-1444. You have 5 minutes of presentation whenever you are ready.
Okay, yeah, so 1444 is section 3, volume 1 of the guides. So this one is referring to LGBTQ rhetoric. It's not specifically tied to grad students as some of the others are, but it is something that does affect a lot of grad students, and obviously in various different ways. I did some edits from the version I had submitted last week based off some of our conversations. I've made it shorter, tried to make it more clear on what we're going through. It is in section 3 versus section 2 because some of the therefores are a little bit more focused. They're a little bit more here is perhaps a solution to some of these specific things, especially in regards to gender-neutral bathrooms. Obviously it's non-binding, but it's here are like maybe specific steps we could take on some of these as opposed to being more general. So yeah, it kind of goes through the history of some of the legislations. We go through what the legislation does very specifically, yeah, it kind of goes through each of those. It tries to go in order for the most part. Says some of the enactment, the reactions to them, and kind of in general terms. So, rising support for non-discrimination laws. I have a statistic based off of that, not just, here's a quote from the random person. So I try to keep that very based in fact, try to get this through. And I would the rest of my time.
All right. We're now in line for 5 minutes of Q&A beginning now.
So I'm looking here through, there's a whereas clause that this legislation limits the discussion and instruction of sexual orientation or gender identity in all K through 12 grades. I'm aware of the bill that passed through the legislature last year, dubbed the Don't Say Gay bill, and I believe that's only K through 3, and that's just in general. What are the other pieces of legislation? I see you have 3 sources that you're referring to that apply to all grades.
Yeah, so it was expanded, from my understanding, and maybe if someone knows better than me, I'm happy to do that, but, we had AQ 1069, and
1557 for your sources.
yeah, I think that, and the sources go through it. So I believe when I was going through this, they expanded it all through K through 12. I think the limitations are different, K through 3 versus 4 through 12, but they were expanded.
Do you know like what specifically they're limiting, or just like flat out limiting this space? Gotcha.
Yeah, it's it depends. There's specific things. So this is a very brief overview. This is from NBC News. It's not something I linked, but you can't discuss sexual orientation or gender identity K through 8. Can't discuss reproductive health in 6 through 12, and then there are specific stipulations for when you would discuss that. Reproductive health in 6 through 12, and anything past 8th grade.
Does it say anything about gender identity?
Yeah, gender identity, I guess this one says it's pre-K through 8th at least. And then there's different restrictions on 8 through 12.
Then I just have a little bit of trouble because it says in all K through 12 grades. That's kind of saying that it applies to everything, even though there's like different, like, I would say intensities or different laws that apply to different grades. So maybe just changing up that wording. I understand what you're trying to say there.
Yeah, and maybe that's, I reread something wrong, because I had read it was expanded K through 12, and I think I took that, not understanding those kind of things. So you could probably put, it limits discussion on probably K through 8, because that is the core of it, and then 8 through 12 has different stipulations on that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I have a question actually really quickly.
Yeah.
Where did it go? So is this supposed to deal primarily with high school or with university restrictions from state legislation?
It's saying state legislation that has gone through high school. I kind of was making the case that it started as K through 3 and things have expanded through to the higher grades, and then they have also had things that have affected higher education to kind of make the point that this is not something that is going to stop. It's kind of this continuing trend. So it is supposed to apply to, you know, us as, you know, in higher education. But I think having the background on K through 12 is important for talking about those sort of limitations.
Okay. In the fourth therefore clause, it talks about urging the university to maintain and expand programs related to critical race theory, gender studies, and DEI. Is there legislation that prevents the teaching of critical race theory or gender studies in academic classes at UF?
I don't think there's anything that is saying they can't teach them. I think there are just limitations on the faculty teaching them, because once you express anything that can be construed as opinion, then you have issues with state law. So this is saying that we should expand these things. I don't think I said anywhere that they are illegal.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I think I just was trying to make the case that these are things that should be supported and expanded upon if possible.
Okay.
And I tried to make it clear for some of these things with laws that I put, like, you know, finding legal pathways to make sure I'm not at any point saying to go against any sort of these legislations.
In the third to last therefore clause, you mentioned challenging laws that violate constitutional rights through appropriate legal channels.
Actually, that's the old.
Oh, excuse me.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think I removed that specifically because I could understand how that one could be read.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, there are 5 seconds left. Are there any more questions? Seeing none, we're now in line for 5 minutes.
Section 3.
Sorry, yeah, actually, we can give you a minute. You don't need to go right away.
Is it that?
Yes, but there's a new version. You might have to go back to the OneDrive.
The OneDrive. This is 714. Oh, this one.
Okay, I'm just gonna let you have a minute because I did just
I
change the
think
bill.
this is it. All right. Thank you.
Okay. This is a really minor thing. I had found where I had referenced the K through 12 thing before. It is prohibited in grades K through 3 for everything, and then 4 through 12 unless it's required by state academic standards.
Gotcha.
So I think my statement is still a little bit more extreme than the truth, but that is the case that I can see.
Yeah, I was just worried about that.
Yeah.
And I'll bring that up in a second. How good is everyone's Wi-Fi here?
It's so.
Do I hear a motion to recess until called back by the chair?
So moved.
I call this meeting back to order at 11:33 a.m. Sunday, July 14th. May any new members of the public state their name for the record, please?
Antonio Hendricks.
All right. Quorum is still present. Same people are still here, minus Tyler Sklar. So we're now moving into debate on the legislation. 5 minutes beginning now. You got time? All right. Yep. Now. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here that I'd like to look over more. Just so it's on the record. Primarily, in one of the whereas clauses talks about discrimination in hiring. I'd just like a source for that, as well as to go over some of the other legislation to figure out specifically what it states. If there's any more opinions given in here by third parties or reporters, news agencies, independent citizens, I'd like to just see where it's coming from. But yeah, I think this should be tabled.
Yeah, I'm more open to tabling it. We just don't want to make sure, or we just want to make sure we're not misrepresenting the state in any sort of way, and that we wouldn't say anything that would misrepresent their opinion on any issue or legislation like that. So it'll give us more time to look over it and more time for you to obviously add sources for us to better cite it.
All right. Is there any more debate? Seeing none, assuming it's final privilege.
I think I agree. I think this is something that has a lot of legislation linked to it. I want to make sure like we get it right as well before we send this out, so that's fine. I think for the hiring discrimination, I found where I pulled out Equality Florida said it tracks if states have laws banning discrimination based on LGBTQ and Florida doesn't. So that statement, that whereas clause is, I tried to combine two different concepts and did not do it properly. So there's no law banning that discrimination for those reasons. But no, I can understand those sort of things. I'd be happy tabling it, and then like if you guys, as you go through this, have any questions for me, I'm happy to like meet or email, and I'm happy to make sure we get this right, especially for next week. So we're addressing it.
All right. We're now in line for any motions at this time.
I move to table SSB 1444 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. We're now in line for SSB 2024-1445. I believe there's also an amendment to this one. So let me look for that. This is section 3, volume 2. Okay, so no one open, or like if you have it open, that's not the full version. So who is Jay?
Jay,
Yeah.
where's Jay at?
There's a comment on it. It says Jay is gonna hate this, by the way.
Oh, I didn't even remember. Yeah, that's Judiciary. Yeah. So doing some of these at late at night, some of these early in the morning, I can be very if I assume you guys are gonna hate a lot of this, I can be a lot more critical with myself and make those edits, but
Yeah. All right. So I should have just updated it. Please reload the page. There should be 3 sources. I believe it got rid of the comments, so that's good.
It's SG trustees and then the directives.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what you changed, so if you want to open it, see if it changed in the doc as well. Might be helpful.
I don't, if it was major changes, I don't think it was any major changes. because we didn't get to this one, and this one's a weird one to start with. I think I just deleted a single clause, and then I removed the from the previous
Let's see.
line, so that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have 5 minutes of presentation. Bless you. Whenever you are ready.
Okay, so this was a bit of a weird one. This is when talking about graduate issues. One of the major issues is communication. We're talking about things related to the Senate. One of the major issues I've seen is communication and sort of this, effectiveness. And so this is asking the Board of Trustees to, communicate better with the student government, to allow the Senate some of these, not binding, but helpful standards. Allow the student senate time to look at proposed regulations, and give feedback back to the Board of Trustees about how the students feel about some of these sort of things. Obviously, this sort of system doesn't work for everything. A lot of what the Board of Trustees does is very minute and very detailed, and student senators are not experts in that stuff. But for the things that affect students directly, I think it makes sense for the elected student senators to have at least some sort of say in what that regulation looks like, or get direct feedback from the students and say, this regulation, students love it, but here's something that they thought might improve upon it. And I think that the students still have, they should be able to use their voices effectively in that sort of manner. I think it benefits the Board of Trustees to have that sort of system. I think it benefits the student senate to have that sort of system. And there's also a minor thing in there about hopefully giving time at Board of Trustees meeting to student government officials to talk and talk about major issues that are plaguing them. And I think that's vital for effective communication between the different groups and effective governance upon that. So it is a little bit of a weird one. I can understand that. It's kind of tangentially related to grad issues, is why it's in section 3. But I think it is important for everyone for those sort of communication standards to be improved upon in different ways. So this is my attempt at improving this sort of things, and I waive the rest of my time.
All right. We're now in line for 5 minutes of questions, beginning now.
Just so I'm not aware. I mean, I am aware of the board of trustees, but can you summarize kind of what they do?
They do a lot of different things. So a lot of what they do is, and I haven't been to a Board of Trustees meeting here. I've been to them at another university or so, but they're a lot of the same thing. So each Board of Trustees member has specific things that they're, or vice president, they're kind of in charge of, and they mostly will do reports at Board of Trustees meetings on here's what we propose for different things. Here's how our finances are for the past quarter, and so they'll kind of trade off what they're doing. They only meet once a quarter or once every so often.
So administrative.
Yeah, they're really the higher administration, so they can set the direction of if we're going to build more graduate housing things. They're going to ones who have to approve that, and also if they have an idea and try to push it through, they will do that. When it comes to unions and things, they're the ones who officially are the ones that you're we're bargaining with. They're the ones who have to approve any changes to contracts. So they're kind of that final say in a lot of those different things. If one of them is we really want to push this, there's a lot more weight into doing that, right? So having elected students and the people making those decisions communicate more effectively, I think improves their ability to administrate and make sure that things get done that help the students.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Really quick question. To my knowledge, is the Board of Regents the same as the Board of Trustees? Is that a former name of the Board of Trustees?
I don't think so. I think the Board of Regents is something else. I'm not very familiar. It may be Board of Regents is just an older name.
I think, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Board of Regents is just a number name for people who oversee universities. So it's probably an older name. But yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't have any more questions. Any of you have questions? Seeing none, we're now on for 5 minutes of debate. The reason I asked that question is I'm reading through the Constitution because this proposes enabling students to sort of recommend policies to the Board of Trustees, and in Section 9, in Article 9 of the Constitution, Section 4, we have hierarchy of laws. The provisions of the student body constitution are governed by and subordinate to the Constitution and laws of the state of Florida, as well as the policies of the Board of Regents. So I don't think we're actually allowed to propose any policies. At least we can't, like, whatever they have in place, we can't technically go above and enforce, or not sure we can recommend them either as a Senate or like as students. I don't know how that plays into this. That's a little concerning. I think my biggest thing here is that the whole point of having the president sit on the board of trustees, which is like an immense responsibility. I mean, arguably, not even arguably, the most powerful position in student government, enabling them to vote on stuff. They're a voting member. The whole point of that is that it is to give students the representation on the board of trustees. So this talks about how we need more aside from the president. That's understandable, but I think the entire purpose of having that position be what it is that the students select which candidate for the presidency they want based on what they've given in terms of what they support to serve in that role. So I think that it is the will of the electorate, the voters, to put that position on the board themselves. So I think like having the Senate propose things would be a roundabout way of doing what's already in place. I do see where you're coming from, but I think as for representation on the committee, that was the purpose of having the president sit on the BOT. Also, I mean, purely from a reasonability standpoint, I understand asking for giving us the authority to add regulations. That I don't think we can't reasonably expect that to do anything. As much as we can ask for it, I don't think that actually, like, asking them to grant us authority to regulate them is an interesting position to hold. Like ensuring that feedback and recommendation from the student senate are taken into account. I think the whole point of the president, once again, is that those positions are presented by them. The perspective of the students is given to the board by our representative on it. Yeah, I don't know. That's just what I have to say. I do find the constitutional thing interesting. I don't know how that directly applies, but I did want to point it out. Is there any more debate?
I agree with what Aaron said. I mean, we elect the president, which is Brinkman, to serve as a voice for the student body. I feel like this is just adding extra steps, be it that, as we saw a few years ago, it's not exactly a perfect system, but we're putting them with the intention of doing that. I just don't want to make it too complicated.
I've watched some of the live streams of the Board of Trustees meetings too, and he has, the student body president at that moment, has a specific point in time, typically where they give a breakdown of all the happenings in student government. So they, like, for example, the last one that happened, or at least the last one that I'd watched this year, they gave briefings about preview, how orientation was going, and obviously student government has a part in that as well, and about how the functions of student government agencies were happening over the course of the summer. So there's ample enough time for him to be the representative there, at least in my opinion.
Is there any more debate? Seeing none, 2 minutes final privilege, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I mean, I like your guys' comments, and I appreciate you guys saying that. I think, from my point of view, the idea is, I understand that is Brinkman's role on that, and I agree with that. I really just, my idea was, I don't think it's a perfect system, and this was an improvement to try to allow other students the perspective of saying, here's, an issue that's really big to us. As far as constitutionality, I wasn't trying to touch constitutionality. I really wanted it to be like, the board, like anything we would say or recommend to them is really like the Board of Trustees has final say. Ours is just like very much an opinion that they can take into consideration or they can completely ignore, and we are still subservient to that sort of stuff, right? So that if it is, still a constitutional thing, I can understand where it could be viewed wrong, but that is like the intent. It's like we're not trying to supersede the Board of Trustees; like they are still in charge of that. But yeah, the idea is just kind of to go through and make sure the communication can be more clear, to have additional avenues for student senators who might think that like Brinkman is not getting their opinions out, a chance, for 5 minutes to be like, here's a really big issue to me and to my constituents specifically, or something like that, without being it. And maybe this isn't the best way, and I'd be happy to, talk about what maybe some better ways of doing this are, if you guys want to table and talk about it further. But I appreciate you guys' comments on this for sure, and I wasted my time.
I lay the committee at rest. The only thing that I thought might conflict with the Constitution would be having regulatory authority over the BOT.
Yeah, and
That's the only one that I'm hesitant. Like, that's the one clause. I just wanted to point that out because it's not the whole thing that I was saying was the
I put regulatory
constitutionality.
authority, and I really meant just like that opinion-based, like getting feedback. Okay. And that is not regulatory authority, but I think that wording is not clear on my part.
All right. I call the meeting back to order. We are now in line for any motions at this time.
I move to table SSP 2024-1471 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Ooh.
1445
Ah.
by unanimous consent. Sorry.
All right. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. We're now in line for SSB 2024-1446. I believe there was an amendment to this one as well.
Yeah, probably for.
Yeah. I think there's an amendment for all of them. So.
Yeah, I did go through and try to address some of the things we had talked about.
So I'm just going to copy this over. So if you're reading through it right now, don't. Okay, should be good now. And just so you know, in the future, you don't have to put a space between title and author.
Okay. It was like more clear for me to.
Yeah, no, I think there should be, but
Okay.
yeah, I'm just fixing it because that's a clerical thing. But just so you know.
Okay.
Okay. I changed it. Please, everyone, reload your OneDrives, and let me know if it should look pretty similar. So. All right, 5 minutes presentation whenever you're ready on 1446.
So this one's a little bit shorter, less than 2 pages, and it's pretty simple. Graduates, one of their main concerns is parking sucks. I know it's an issue for everybody, but graduates kind of hate it. We have to pay like almost $200 a year for parking that is pretty much non-existent at most of the times, and every time there's an event, they close the graduate parking, so it's even harder to find things. So this is just saying graduates should have access to the higher level, which is the faculty level, the base faculty level parking passes without having to pay the $600 that all faculty have to pay for that. So just allowing them additional parking spaces without mandating any other things mandating to that. So it's pretty simple, pretty short. Just kind of hoping for like minor improvements to make sure that graduate students don't have to worry about spending an hour trying to find parking, which can be really annoying, I know, for everyone. And I wait the rest of my time.
Cool. We're now on for 5 minutes of questions. Just really quickly. So, what parking spaces are offered to grads?
If you
passes
live
wise.
off campus, you get the green parking passes. So
Is that a park and ride or is that separate?
there are parking spaces on campus. I don't know.
It's gonna be a roast.
No.
Second
Okay.
answer all of it.
Just actually,
You
you
are
are
a
a sponsor. You're
Yeah,
welcome to
true.
speak.
Yeah.
So
Mr.
there's
Tapsman.
actually 2 different types of graduate parking decals. There's brown, which is like the graduate housing ones to my knowledge. That's only by like Corey Village North, or Corey Village South rather, and Tanglewood Village. Those two that's that decal. I think there's like 200 of them on the UF campus. They're called Brown 3. I don't know why there's no Brown 1, but I
Brown is also just a horrible choice.
Yeah, I agree. Green is mainly used only by like the commuter lot, if I'm like, gonna be honest, or like just some. There's a lot of places that says any parking decal except park and ride. That also applies, obviously, but that's only by like southwest or something like that. They're very far from campus, as you'd expect. That's just kind of how parking is, unfortunately. But yes, graduates especially have low amounts of parking available. So.
Yeah, I mean, and faculty could use our parking spots. So if their lot fills up, then they take over like one of the
True.
green spots. So it's just like you get in it. I've gotten in at like 8 a.m. to find a parking spot, and there's nothing, right? So it's just like, what are we doing?
I didn't know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm looking at the proviso. We will have to strike the VP of Business Affairs, Chris Reynolds.
I think that applies.
Okay, awesome. So I'm also looking at the Senior Director of TAPS, Will McDonald. Is there anyone, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe it might be Will McDonald, but is there anyone like that's ahead of the parking that we could send this to?
I don't know. I tried looking to see if there was
Okay.
any right now.
So what do you mean by that? Like specifically?
So who's in charge of the parking at UF? Because I would like to set that.
So TAPS as itself is obviously transportation parking
Mhm.
services. There's no specific department towards just parking, which is you would think there would be. But yeah, so senior director honestly probably is the best person considering he's very new. And him getting feedback from everyone I think is good. He wants to know things, he wants people to reach out. That's one thing that I've heard from just as his employee. He wants to set up meetings with people, he wants to talk with people. So
Awesome. Okay.
Are there any more questions? We're now in line for seeing another round for 5 minutes of debate. Starting now. Yeah, I didn't even realize this was as big of an issue as it is. I didn't know the grad students got different parking passes than undergrads even. That's just not a readily available fact. I mean, it's hard enough. I can get parking. I live off campus. Park and ride's the one we can purchase, and it's clearly a problem. As for the Vice President of Business Affairs, I don't know if they have any influence on this whatsoever. They can answer that in final privilege if they know, Mr. Tapsman. But yeah, I mean, that's clearly a problem. I didn't realize that faculty could park in those spaces too. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, and I'm assuming there's none of those spots close to campus because there are barely any of the red ones. So yeah, I think this is a very real and pressing concern that could be addressed by student government. So I think this is a really well done resolution. Is there any more debate?
For me.
Seeing none, final privilege whenever you're ready.
Do you have any comments on the?
I can, I guess, explain a little bit. I think the business affairs, at the end of the day, it's one of those things, if y'all decide to say no, it wouldn't change the world, but at the end of the day, like, decals and all that is because of just money. Like, they care about the money, they care about the business efficiency of it, and, like, or rather the effectiveness of it. I've been trying for the past year and a half to talk about decal reallocation. And they always talk about it's just money costs and money things. So I guess it could be pertinent. But yeah, if y'all have questions about decals, I know way too much about them.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking through people to try to send this here. I mean, he made the most sense to do it, and maybe he doesn't make enough sense to keep him on there, but he's the one I could make the most sense besides the TAPS. So
That's fine.
we wait for the rest of the time.
All right. Are there any motions at this time?
I move to pass SSB 2024-1446 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Congratulations.
Get to move another one over.
Sensational.
Oh wow, the Wi-Fi is horrendous.
It's
terrible.
literally-
Why did it
It's really
change?
proving to be even worse.
It's done.
By a
Did it just
minute.
drop for you?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
spiked.
Okay, apparently I have no bills. Okay, that's crazy. I think it deleted the
Oh my
folder.
God.
That's insane. Okay. We're now in line for SSB 2024-1447. There is an amendment to this. I will update it. Yup. All right. Just so I'm aware, what time does everyone need to leave?
I'm good on that.
I'm good.
Should be good until like 2.
All right, Danny.
Wow.
Oh,
Dude, I gotta study.
for what?
The only class I'm in.
Exactly, the only class.
It's hard. Biochem is hard.
I'll go to the library with you later.
Okay.
Everyone's there right now.
Hey, who's your professor?
People are.
There's like 4 right now. Purich was the. Do you know them?
Yeah, I had to take Max Medkit.
Okay, it's updated.
I got through the
Everyone reload your
What?
pages.
All my first year.
And then you don't
Is
want to
this
do
the
it
right
anymore?
version?
I don't know.
In the program,
It should be 3 pages, barely.
Then we got my degree.
Mine's still
It's
2.
just
Oh my
Okay, my computer is just bugging out,
It
so.
should be 2 pages.
Okay.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just-
All right.
Struggling enough to
My
finish
computer
it.
hates
I don't
me,
have to
so-
do it.
Wait, are we in recess?
No, we're not. All right.
Can I just ask him what
Cool.
he changed then?
What are
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, what did you change if we can't see the
There
amendment?
was one clause I deleted that was very opinionated.
I took them pictures.
You
It
wanna-
was,
Yeah.
Whereas the Board of Trustees and student government are two sides of the same coin to students, necessary to enhance, no, that's the wrong one. That is the wrong one. I think it was the bottom of the first page. It was just a single clause. The Board of Trustees should support graduate students as they contribute to and enhance the university's mission. I felt like that clause didn't really add anything.
Okay.
So I deleted
Alright.
that, and then they had to change a couple of citations around to make sure things were proper.
Okay. I can
All right.
just-
5 minutes presentation whenever you're ready.
Another short one, another one that is a big issue to grad students, and something we talk about a lot. We have to pay a lot in fees. I know everyone has to pay fees. Fees make the world go round. GAs and graduate students still have to pay fees, even if they're paid by the university, which a lot of grad students hate because it's kind of just like once a semester you get paid $1,000 for your biweekly paycheck, and then you have to pay $500 to fees, right? It's really just like you don't make a paycheck for 2 weeks, right? So it's really annoying. If you're on the minimum stipend, I did the math, and you'll pay probably around 10% of your annual income to fees back to the university, which can be annoying, is annoying. And the third thing is grad students are still required to pay fees for everything and for courses and stuff, as well as pay tuition, but while they're only taking research credits. So while they're only working with their advisor and giving back to the university, they're still required to pay those fees, which grad students also hate because they're not taking courses, they're just doing research with their advisor, working on finalizing their dissertation, and they're still having to pay $500 a semester to, stay a full-time student so they can still get paid, which is a really weird way that the process works. So this is saying, pretty please do not charge grad students fees, specifically if they're only in research credits, because that is the most annoying part, is when they're on research credits and having to pay those fees. So that's kind of it. It's not a binding thing. It's just kind of like fees are a lot for grad students. Can we address them? And I wait the rest of the time.
All right. We're now in line for 5 minutes of Q&A. I have a really big question.
Yeah.
Is this asking for the elimination of fees? Because I'm having trouble deciphering what this is asking for. Is this asking for the elimination of fees, the inclusion of fees in the tuition, or the raising of a stipend to cover the fees?
The exemption from grad students paying fees, which grad students already have exemption for certain fees under our contract. So it is something that they already have normalizing for some fees. They just don't have it for all of them. So it's basically expanding that to these additional ones. So it's a big finance thing that they have to figure out. But yeah, they already have it for some fees, so I know it's reasonable for them to say they're still paying the fees, but they're exempted from paying them because the university pays it in a different manner.
How much money do you think this would cost the university? Or not exactly cost, but how much less money would the university have?
It's not a ton based off of total budget, because if each grad student is paying $500 a semester,
That's a lot.
yeah, and there's
I have a question that kind of ties in. What is the fee per credit hour for grad students?
I cannot tell you a straight number for that. There's
Okay.
a number on their website that they charge, but the number I get charged in fees each semester is wildly different. In the spring for 9 credits, I got charged $500. For the summer for 6 credits, I got charged $531. So I don't know. There should be a set number, and the numbers are set per credit hour on their website. But the number we get charged at the end of the day varies, which is very strange.
Interesting. That's very odd.
At a max, which is me overstating this, it would be upwards of $50 million in fees. Doing the maximum amount, but some grad students pay less. This is for all grad students, not just GAs, which are a subset of them, and there's only 4,000 of them, so it would be closer to 5 million. But it is a hefty number that they would have to consider. But there's also they could look at this and find wiggle room and say we could take this one fee off that would save $100 for grad students or something like that. So it's obviously not binding. They're trying to make the point that we pay too much, and we would love to be exempt.
All right. It's not really a question. Are there any more questions? Seeing none, we're now in line for 5 minutes of debate.
Esther,
I-
you good?
Okay, I want to just put out there that the amount it costs the university up for debate, whether that's relevant to our discussion or not. My main concern, if we're asking for the elimination of fees, is how does that affect voting rights of grad students? If this were actually implemented, and grad students no longer paid fees and no longer contributed to the student government budget, that might prevent them from voting in an extreme case. And I think that's a reasonable conclusion to come to when we talk about who we are responsible for, who we include in voting and membership in Senate or the executive branch. Typically, you have to be a fee-paying student because the fees are what comprise our budget. So you have to have representation where your money is going. If we eliminated the fees, I could see the conclusion being drawn that grad students should no longer have representation in student government because they no longer contribute to the budget. Just throwing that out there, that is a very concerning thing to be a possibility, but I did want to point it out.
I'll say that for mine, it kind of touches off a similar base of that. There are certain things that the university does or that student government does to set aside specifically for grad students, right? Certain graduate senate seats, for example, are available. So if we're exempting graduate students then from this fee, how do we then say, okay, we're now giving you senate seats as well, even though you don't essentially pay into what is the student government that we're allocating all this funding for, right? So I think that form of positive discrimination in terms of giving graduates senate seats would be negated by this, and I wouldn't want to see that happen. They deserve to have senate seats, but that's my opinion of it.
In just in terms of monetary standpoint, $500 per graduate.
$14.47.
Of money. I mean, obviously, we would operate at less money than we would be without that. I mean, with that, excuse me. But I also worry if we eliminate that account, then we could possibly need to go into like other accounts, like shift money around. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't think this is a good idea. I don't think this could happen.
What are the, I don't know if you guys can answer this, but the sizing of the exemptions that already exist, are they a lot smaller than the $500? I don't know if we can direct that. Does anyone know? So he spoke about other exemptions of fees. I guess you can just nod.
The only fees I know of that
yeah.
contribute to our budget are I think it's $29. Hunter would know. Is it 29 now? 29.41 or something stupid. So I don't know if those fees are included in the I don't know what the 500 breakdown is. I can't find that
he said
anywhere.
he was talking about fees that were already. The reason that he thought this was reasonable was that there were fees that this has already happened in a different instance for maybe a smaller fee. For a smaller fee. So I just don't know how big the difference is between those that are already exempted and now this big $500 thing that we're talking about. And I don't know if that size is big enough to mean that it's not actually reasonable. So I'm kind of agreeing with you. I don't know. I would need to learn more about what's exempted now.
I think for me, this bill gets into a few things. So in the therefore clauses, you have exempted from paying fees. And then in the next clause, we have review and amend the fee policies. And then you go down more. Where is it? Like it's asking for at least two things. And I can't tell if these, like there's different types of fees, clearly. The only fees I know of are the A&S fees. That's what I'm concerned with, because those are the fees that dictate whether or not you are participating in student government. That's why there was discussion in the beginning of the spring. Senator Emeritus Raj Mia talked about satellite campuses because they pay fees, what that entails. So because this doesn't go into if those are included or not, I'm very skeptical to ask to eliminate, or even if they were eliminated, what would happen. So that's my thought on that. Any more debate? Seeing none, now in line for 2 minutes final privilege. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, a lot of things. So I'll try to get through these. The union, as it stands, gets fee relief for specific fees. and so they don't have to pay them. It goes with tuition, and it saves us like $150 a semester. So it was more, and now the fee deferral goes down to less. And that is for the 4,000 grad students. So it's a smaller amount, but it is for 10% of the grad student population. So it is still like a sizable amount. So like they still spend a little bit on that. The idea behind this, and maybe my wording is not correct here, is not, you don't say grad students are not paying fees. The way that the current system works is that grad students still pay fees. The money just doesn't come from grad students. It comes from other accounts. So sometimes that, depending on how the fee relief is currently done, I think the university pays some that are paid by the university, and then it comes out of different grad students, like the grants that they're on. Those departments would pay to make sure that that money isn't like coming out of any specific fund, but they're still like paying the fees technically, right? So like even if I'm exempt from like the transportation fee, I still get the benefits of like having to pay the transportation fee, right? So I don't think it affects those sort of things, and I think the intent for me here, and maybe getting rid of that first therefore clause is really like what's doing it, is like I would love the university to review the current fee practice, stating that grad students, I think, and grad students believe they're overpaying for fees, and to readdress that and try to figure out a solution that works for everybody. That is kind of the intent behind it. So maybe that first clause of just saying the exempt, that is a bit like, cold water there, and that's probably my biggest concern there, and I would address my time.
All right. We're now in line for any motions at this time. Are there any motions?
I move to fail SSB 2024-1446 by unanimous consent.
Which criteria?
Under implication,
Being that.
being that this would be too costly to the university, and then it may also negatively affect the voting rights of graduate students and representation in student government elections.
All right. Are there any objections to that motion?
It's 1447. I don't know if you can just say that.
Oh,
1447.
Sorry.
That's fine. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. We're now in line for SSB 2024-1448. This, I believe, also has an amendment. Let me find that. Is this section 4, volume 1? Yeah. I think the system is actually working kind of well that I just update them on the fly. Yeah.
Code revision.
It is a code revision.
Yeah, section 4 is code revisions. So.
All of section 4 is code revisions?
I mean, there's just two of them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're both code revisions.
Yeah, cool.
That's why they're in section 4.
Okie dokie. Is this updated? Everyone check, make sure it's updated on your end.
Changed.
Is it updated?
I'm not sure if that
What
would
changed?
This is from the new document, the updated stuff, so.
Yeah. Okay. I probably just sent it to you because we hadn't gotten to it, but I
Yeah,
don't think I made it.
that's fine.
So.
I don't think you did either.
Okay.
All right. Looks good for everyone else. All right. We're now in line for 5's presentation whenever you're ready.
So this is a very simple code revision. It is just kind of adding additional stipulations for grad students for qualifying exams and conference travel to make sure they're exempt from Senate meetings. Obviously, in 323.45F, we have academic commitments with proper documentation. I've talked to a couple grad students, and they're not sure if that includes conferences specifically for different reasons. If it includes qualifying exams, which can be harder to get proper documentation because it's something you set with your advisor and have a meeting on. You could probably send an email about it, but it can be tough. So I really wanted to make it clear that qualifying examinations, which can take for some grads a week, it can be an entire semester, but it normally is not. It's normally a week or two. And then for conferences, which can be sporadic, that they know for a fact that they're not risking their seat to do what they need to do as graduates. So I waived the rest of my time.
All right. Now in line for 5 minutes of Q&A. Really quickly, is this how it is in the codes right now? Academic commitments is listed like that?
This is the version I had.
I need to look at this up really quick because I believe Senator Sela amended this, so I need to make sure. I lay the committee at rest.
didn't you collab with Adjournment on that?
Yes.
I was like,
That passed. Do you know what the language was passed with? Because I know we changed the wording slightly.
I have to pull it up.
What code is this?
Updated
320.
the 300 codes. That's all I was saying.
That's the first judicial meeting of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I know it was like, I know it passed, I got through, I just don't know if they updated it on the website, which obviously creates it a little bit annoying.
Okay, so on the updated 300 codes, you have the following guidelines. Shall we? Ooh, wait 1 second. Sorry.
I think I have. That's fine.
For acceptable reasons, academic commitments, and then so yours is not the most updated version.
Okay.
Academic commitments with proper documentation. This includes, but is not limited to, exam with property authority signature, graduate field work pertaining to their degree or academic employment, and academic research conference attendance. So those are all included.
It was 1360, so.
However, by qualifying examinations, do you mean all grad/professional school entrance exams?
No, there's a specific part of grad work where you have to do your quals, which essentially you have to say I'm an expert at my field, and you have to. Every department has it differently, but it's you either take like a week of examinations or a week of like specific questions, or you have to do like a series of essays. It's
So-
a specific point in a grad life.
So that's covered by exam with property authority signature. So that's already also protected.
Okay.
As long it's an exam, it's through UF. Someone can sign to say that you're taking an exam, so it falls under the same umbrella. However, the ones I mentioned, the entrance courses are not acceptable reasons as listed under the codes. But I think this bill, I mean, we can't pass it. It uses an old version of the codes, but
I wasn't aware.
but yeah,
of this.
that was probably
Covered in this,
recently
that's fine,
updated.
yeah.
Adriana did write that. We passed that. Like I think it was one of the first things we passed.
It was the first.
Was it the
non,
first
It was
thing?
the first code bill not written by you. Actually.
Oh, yeah.
That was passed, yeah.
All right. Okay, so I call this meeting back to order.
I made
We're
it.
now in line
I
for
made that acronym, that's all I'm gonna say.
5 minutes of presentation, I believe. You have
Uh,
4 minutes and 35 seconds remaining.
Yeah, obviously I didn't realize we'd already made that change. That was the full intent on this, so I can withdraw it. You can fail it. Whatever.
Just if you withdraw it, we're done with it.
Withdraw.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
48.
48.
That's like a goal thing.
We're now in line for 49. What? Okay. You have 5 minutes. Oh, is there an updated version of this? I don't think there is,
I
but
don't think I changed it.
okay, I can check. Yeah, this is exactly the same. Cool. All right. 5 minutes presentation. Whenever you're ready.
So this is kind of similar vibes. It is just working around replacements for summer senators, specifically for qualifying examinations. As I said, that's a specific point in the grad's time. For some people, it can take a week, but you have to pass it. So you want to take a month or two to study, and you don't want to have to choose between those multiple things. So having someone that can replace you during that time is important. For some people, it takes longer. For some people, it takes less. So it's really up to them. So this was an attempt at doing that. In point 3, the last sentence for Innovation Academy, they can't do a summer replacement. And in our Constitution, it says that every senator can do a summer replacement. So that phrase is just specifically against what the Constitution says is granted every senator. So I deleted it. And maybe I was reading that wrong, but I believe I was reading that properly.
Yeah, I'll let the committee rest.
So the reason that clause is in there is because Innovation Academy students, their break.
Can I speak on this? Because I'm actually Innovation Academy,
Yeah.
if you don't mind. Also, so we actually go spring, and then we have the option of going summer. So we have classes during the summer. Like I have a class, summer A, that's in person, but summer B, like I don't have any classes. I'm really here because of like Senate, and I'm taking online classes, but I'm still like sitting here. But basically, we get the falls off for internship opportunities and job opportunities to take that. And we could still take classes, but only online classes unless we petition.
Yeah, I can get that, yeah. My point here, sorry, was that in the Constitution, it says any senator can have a summer replacement, and the guidelines are under the Constitution, so we shouldn't have something that goes against the Constitution in there. So that's why I deleted that sentence, because it says any senator, and in our Constitution, there's no, like, differentiation.
Where does it say any senator? I can't find it.
This is Article 3, Section 4.
Yes.
A student senator who will not attend the summer academic term or any portion of the term may nominate a summer replacement senator, subject to confirmation by the student senate first day of every May. It doesn't differentiate between different types of student senators. It just says any student senator may do that.
So this only applies to people who will not attend the summer academic term. They're required to attend the summer academic term, so they don't have this ability anyway.
Okay.
So if you're enrolled in classes and you appoint a summer replacement, technically you're violating the Constitution.
Okay.
So they don't have that authority. I am interested. Can you appoint a replacement in the fall?
Yes, I believe we can.
Yeah.
I mean, right there. So
Yeah.
technically,
Yeah, that makes sense.
if this went through, a innovation, let's say I run in the fall, I win, I only have to serve my spring term. That if I could pick a replacement through the fall and the summer, that's not.
No,
I don't think
I guess I just
should
wasn't
do
connecting
that.
the
Yeah.
dots you connected where how it was. I really saw anyone could do a summer replacement. We have something that
Yeah.
says this person cannot do a summer replacement. That's a direct contradiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I put it in there. But that's obviously if that's if as the way you read it and understand it, and you guys obviously have more experience with this than me, then
Yeah.
that's just how it is. It's like that's something that needs to be deleted. Then.
Also, just adding on to your point, I'm sorry, this makes it a lot more complicated. You could technically skip out on your courses and just leave it for like different years. So I know that there's, so we had to take a course, either summer A or summer B. But some people during their freshman going into sophomore year didn't choose to take that. So they did it sophomore going into junior year. But I believe generally you have to take at least one physical in-person course over the summer. But it's just, like have to. It's weird.
Right.
So, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry, complicated.
Yeah, it's something I
It was
saw,
just,
and like
yeah.
you're more of an expert in that than I am. How that shapes out.
Can make an amendment to the Constitution, put that on the
Yeah.
ballot.
You put it on the ballot.
Abstain to it?
That was kind of my point.
Everyone's gonna abstain to
All
it.
right,
It's
I call this
sad.
meeting back to order. We're now on line 4. What are we in now?
We're in.
Questions?
We're in question and answer.
Yeah, question.
4 minutes of questions and answers. Beginning now. All right. What do you mean by temporary replacement in clause 2?
It's pursuant to subclause 1. It's just the same wording, I believe.
Okay, so this would allow for a temporary replacement after which the senator would be allowed to come back.
Yeah, it's trying to follow the same regulations you would do for summer replacement, except for grad students. It's quals where they're going to be indisposed anyways for an indiscriminate amount of time, but they would have to have probably some documentation saying here are the dates and how that would last.
So in theory, a grad student could appoint a temporary replacement for two legislative cycles, a summer replacement for 2 legislative cycles, and then a SPIA replacement for 2 legislative cycles consecutively, right?
I'm not following.
The grad could
Yeah.
replace themselves for a year before resigning completely.
Potentially, if that's the way you're doing it, and you're more of an expert than that's not the intent obviously for that to happen. This is just to give students a couple weeks to work on quals and things that
Yeah.
they need to do for grad students. So if there's a better way of wording it to eliminate that potential issue, I would be definitely happy to make sure that that's not something that they
Yeah.
do.
All right, are there any more questions? Seeing none, now line for 5 minutes of debate. Yeah, this is the same thing as SPIA, except we're adding on top of SPIA. So basically, my primary issue with this is SPIA already allows for 2 legislative sessions, plus summer replacements, which are allowed for all students except for innovation. So that's already 4 of 6 legislative cycles. Plus, we have that those are a qualified exemption from it's a excused absence from Senate. So my point with this is if we already have this many replacement opportunities, I think expanding them is probably a bad idea. especially for this one kind of examination. As important as it does sound, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me to replace yourself temporarily from like January 1st to December 31st. It seems like too many options. SPIA exists, so if you realize that you can't do that, if you don't have enough time to commit to your academic studies, the purpose is you can resign and choose someone to replace you for those two. If it's over the summer, you already have a summer replacement option. I think that is more than enough replacement options. I think we want to encourage people to be present in the Senate chamber as much as possible throughout the year while still being accommodating for things like this. So, yeah.
Second everything. That's it.
All right. Is there any more debate? Seeing none. 2 minutes final privilege.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is something that was written before we had the discussions on SPIA and updating as well. My intent is, a grad student who is going into quals but was elected shouldn't have to give up their seat via SPIA to someone else permanently in order to take those quals that are very important and necessary for grad students. So I wanted to make sure that they can have a process in which they can say, I can take quals and not feel like I'm detracting from Senate and then go back to something I was elected for while retaining that right. If you guys don't think that this is necessarily the right way, then that's how you feel. But that was my intent behind that. So the intent was not to have people replace each other for 2 years straight. So I way address my time.
All right, we're now line for any motions this time.
I'm going to fail SSB 2024-1449 on the basis of, implication that this would not be something, feasible would be the word for the Innovation Academy students, in terms of that they could really only just serve spring semester, and then it's kind of different on the other semesters. And then also, this is basically SPIA, which I believe graduate students can basically just appoint a replacement for a year.
2 legislative sessions.
2 legislative sessions, excuse me, by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. We are now in line for SSB 2024-1467. You have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
This one I'll try to keep short. I want us to table it because I want to talk to John about it. But I will give some background as to what this is. Most of the 230-ish area is just codifying what the agencies do, what the entails, how a chair gets their seat, or not seat, but how a chair gets appointed, what happens to a chair if some reason they need to be gone for whatever reason. Technically it's agency heads now, as per changes, and this reflects it as well, which I was on top of that.
Lovely.
A lot of these are, the language itself is copy and pasted from the other parts of the other agencies. It's just pertinent to GAS and what GAS would do. And the things, the 1, 2, and 3 clause for GAS that you see there, it's taken straight from what GAS is on the SG website. Like, you can compare it. I just made it in 3 different clauses. I also want to talk to Riley about it, current agency head, even though, like, I imagine she'll be a very big proponent of this, but also I want to talk to John because of the fact that this is something that he did. I don't know if everyone intends to have this forever. I hope they would, but it's pertinent to the student body president, and I would like to talk to them. I wait the rest.
Any questions? Seeing none, 5 minutes of debate. Yeah, this just needs to be run by the guy who created it. But yeah. This is the same language that I've seen in other. Yeah, I think you've written other ones with the similar language as this. So yeah, the language is exactly the same. So yep, that's all. Any more debate? Seeing none, final privilege. Any motions at this time?
I'm going to table SSB 2024-1467 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. Now in line for SSB 2024-1470. 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
7-0 you said?
Yeah.
What was this one? Oh, this one's sick. I like this one a lot. So I'll give some context to this. So I did I think it was 500 code revision. It's called the EASE Act. It was the first time it's been amended since like the 80s, I think, or the 80s or the 90s.
Long time.
It was a long time. I just basically did something about what environmental assessments are, and I guess if you want to look it up, the EASACT is on the SG website. If you really find that pertinent and want to ask questions about it, environmental assessments can be really anything that they like really entail that the person doing it and conducting it wants to pursue. I believe that the agency head of the prominent and only environmental and sustainability oriented agency here, UF, should be conducting an environmental assessment during their whole term. That's a whole year. Like, they have a while, maybe a little less because it depends on their appointment. Which is one thing that I've taken into account. But environmental assessments can be small, they can be big, and I just want them to just not disclose, because that's not what .35 says, but I just want the findings to be accessible. That is all. And I waive the rest.
All right. We're in line for 5 minutes of questions. Are there any questions?
Do they have like a standard environmental assessment that people conduct?
What do you mean? Like what is
What is your vision of this environmental assessment?
I just want them to be an active person, whether that's the local Gainesville community, whether that's just Florida, and just evaluating the state of our environment, and I guess having those findings every year, because I guess that's like the tangible thing that can be seen from this agency head, because a lot of people would ask, what does the SG even do? This is something that you can clearly see. They found this. This was a study that they found, or this is something that they've got data with. So they can be big or small.
But like, what specific? Because I could go out, I could like get a sample of the air or a sample of the water. There's just like, there's so many things I could do in an environmental assessment. Like, what do you want to see?
Googling the exact standard for it, just for
Are you thinking IPCC report? Are you thinking climate report? Are you thinking sustainability report?
I would like to have sustainability and climate reports because those are the most prominent things in my opinion. But again, I don't want to dictate what the agency head does because that's not my power to do here. It could be big or small. I hope that they would find in their power as someone who is the head for like hopefully a whole year to do something substantial with their position. And environmental assessments, I've Googled it just because I wanted to get the exact definition. But this is from the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management for the U.S. And environmental assessments are to evaluate potential impacts of proposed actions on the environment. So whether that's legislation, whether that's state legislation, whether that's local stuff, or like it's literally anything they want to make out of it. I think this could just be something, a good start. Whether that we want to expand on it, that's awesome. I think a whole term is very feasible. And I'm not telling them specifically what to do with it. And if someone has questions, or if this chair has questions of it, I would like them to look at the code.
I would just want something more specific.
Wait, that's not a question.
Oh, sorry. I was in that.
What code is it?
The specific one with the environment, the EASACT, I will actually look it up on the SG website for you. It's 560 something, I'm pretty sure. It's on the SU website if you type up E's in.
595?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 595.
And that I do outline a lot of what environmental assessment is. 595.3. I don't know why that letter P is there as well, and the EASACT, but hey, something happened.
What? Where?
If you look at just 595.3 just has the letter P at the end. I don't know why that's there, but you know that's something I would deal with myself.
I don't see it.
Just this P.
Oh, and yours. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, this is, I'm looking at the EASACT, not like this bill in particular.
On the codes, it isn't there.
Sick, that's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
happy they did that. But yes, I don't want to give them the specifics of what environmental assessment will be because I kind of already did that with this previous code revision a while ago, and I can read off some of these that they do. It's environmental impacts, alternate plan of action, cumulative effects of air quality, water resources, land use, biodiversity, cultural resources, and human health. It's like I have outlined it. I can include that as more if we want. We can copy and paste it, but again, this already does exist in the codes.
I'm just reading through it. We have like 40 more seconds.
If you want to take your time, we can lay that rest in.
There's just still so much stuff to get through.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
It's okay. All right, that's time. We're now in line for 5 minutes of debate, beginning now. Yikes.
Oh yeah, that was very weird. It's really weird.
Is there any debate? Does everyone need more time to think about debate?
I would like for it to be more specified of what exactly an environmental I know, like, they have that in there from the prior act that was passed, but
So, okay,
I-
I like the committee at rest. If we request it as a chamber to be created, does that go to GGG?
Are you saying like if we
If the Senate by majority vote asks for can someone close that door? Ask for an environmental assessment, does that go to GGG? Or who does that go to in the 500 codes?
break it up? To my knowledge, it's not GGD in particular.
It doesn't say, I don't
Yeah,
think.
which is one thing I could also change to that. I could change that one as well and do both. It's one of those things I don't want to do both at the same time because if this one failed, the other one would be pointless. But
I think if you just included GGG here, I mean, I'm not sure specifically like how much information they're realistically going to provide us with that we don't already know, because it seems like the environmental assessment, the whole purpose of it is to determine whether or not we need to have an impact study, not to be its own separate
and I
document.
don't want to mandate them to do an impact study because impact studies are something that are projects funded by the student senate, which you have to fund.
Yes, I think you should make it. If the student senate by majority vote requests an environmental assessment, then it goes to GGG. I don't think it should be mandated yearly because that kind of defeats the purpose of this entire code. No one would ever request one
Okay.
if they're doing it annually. You see my point?
We can do that amendment if you want. Let's open them. I'm
Well,
gonna put that.
I'm just saying that's like that would be in the 500 codes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can also have that though, like listed under the duties of GGG, saying that like this.
If.
Yes, if.
That sounds great.
Yes, I'm saying like, if this happens, and then I can also do the environmental assessment, 500 codes revision pertinent to that as well.
Okay.
Like
So
that's good of me.
yeah, like the second part. Shall make the findings of any. Yeah. Well. Okay. I call this meeting back to order. We're now in line for debate. Yeah, I'm going to change the second clause so that says the chairperson shall make the findings of any environmental assessment accessible to the student body or available upon request. And then in the one before it says the chairperson, if directed to by the student senate, shall complete an environmental assessment. End it. That's it. Cool. Okay. Any more debate? Seeing none, final privilege.
Side note, because of the fact I actually had an amendment or a different revision of this, chairperson will have to reflect agency head, which sucks
Yup.
because I did pass these two, or I submitted these two at the same time.
Okay.
So,
oh my god, that's right, all the agency.
yeah, trust me, I
All right.
thought about it myself. So.
Damn.
Yeah, I waived the rest. That amendment's fine.
All right, do I hear a motion to amend SSP 2024-1470 to change any instance of the word chairperson to agency head?
So
By
moved.
unanimous consent. Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. Do I hear a motion to amend 1470 so that the first 227.34 states the agency head apostrophe s, comma, shall, if directed by the student senate, shall complete one environmental assessment by unanimous consent.
So moved.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
You're doing agency has apostrophe s.
Yep. Oh no, parentheses s. Yeah. Do I hear a motion to amend 1470 so that in 227.35 it states the agency heads shall make the findings of any environmental assessment accessible to the by unanimous consent.
So moved.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. All right. Yeah. Are there any more motions at this time?
Move to pass SSB 2024-1470 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. We're now in line for SSB 2024147. I believe it's
Yeah.
3.
Good. Bueno. Lovely.
All right. 5 minutes of presentation whenever you're ready.
So I took a little bit of what the previous version was. The clause 2 is something that just talks about having the student present pro tempore as a primary point of contact, which I think is perfectly reasonable and understandable. I liked that other one. As well as this one, just kind of, I guess, outlining as to what would happen if there is not legislation on the website or provided to the senators by 5 p.m. So it already exists in RMP to a degree, but this is just, I guess, expanding on it. As we see right above it, literally right above it, it said something very similar, but it's just explicitly going into it and what would happen if it's not on the website, because we've had that debate, we've been confused. I feel like this gets rid of any questions about what happens now. Will there be bills heard if they're not on the website or publicly accessible? And what, and in my opinion, if there's the proof of them being on the website by SGAO, that is publicly accessible. So that kind of bars that technical issue. If the SGAO has receipt of it being on the website, it is publicly accessible. That's important. I weigh the rest.
All right. 5 minutes of Q&A. Is there a reason there's a comma at the end of the second clause?
Why? Oh, honestly, no.
Okay.
I think I copy and pasted it and
Okay.
there was a comma and it just carried over. The spacing's weird on it too, as you see, so.
Yeah. Do you think this does anything that's not already in place?
In my opinion, it just makes it in the codes that this is the procedure as to what happens. Because we don't want to have any debacles of us on one side saying, this happens, no, this happens. This just has it actually saying what will happen. Is it already kind of understood what should happen? Yes. But I'm the type of person that I'd rather have it be in writing and that it being visible and tangible. Just so there's no argument that can exist. Because when you look to
Sure.
it, it exists.
All right. Any more questions? Seeing none, 5 minutes of debate. The second clause doesn't make sense. As much as I think Blake would love doing this, he has no impact on the difficulties of opening hyperlinked legislation. He has no influence on the website. So that doesn't make sense. Now, for legislation in the email, yes, that's sent out to senators, yes. But for the website, he has no influence at all. 0. So that is the way, yeah, I don't think that clause should be in there. But I do see your point as to specifying what happens to it. That makes sense.
I agree. I think we should amend that. So taking out the second point, as what Aaron was saying, but I'm fully with just codifying this. Yeah.
Any more debate? Seeing none, final privilege.
Honestly, I didn't like the second part either. I'm gonna just be honest. I didn't really like it, and I agreed that, like, I was like, what is the present part? But I was like, maybe someone emails him saying that this bill doesn't work. He's like, oh, what do you know? I make the agenda. I have the bill. Here you go. That was the rationale, I think, behind that. I'm more than happy to strike that. I think we should. I very much support that. Thank you. Thank you. I wave.
All right. Any motions at this time?
I move to amend SSB 2024-1473 to strike subsection 2 under C4
Nice.
by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. All right. Any more motions?
I move to pass SSB 2024-1473 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. Ooh, I get to add it.
Let me see what that looks like.
See what it looks like.
You have your new thing, right, where you're putting like the same.
Well, I do it after the meeting usually. So now that it's updated, I just go here, and I go copy
Oh, it
to.
doesn't. It's not like. Oh, it's just in a folder.
Pretty good. How are you?
That's how I always send it out.
I've been looking this way a lot, so.
Yeah.
I have a meeting at 1. Could we potentially review some of my legislation?
Sure. You're good with that?
Yeah. of course.
Cool. I don't think you have any more on.
I have the ones from last week.
Okay, but we've gone through them so far. So,
Yeah.
all right, sure. Pick a bill,
Um,
and I'm going to call for recess at 1, so everyone gets a little bit of a break, or ask for someone to call recess.
We can start with the Big Four Correspondence Act.
What number?
Yeah.
Is that 15? No.
Which one did he?
Big Four Correspondence Act.
That
I don't see
What?
it.
That's not a judish bill, is it? Or if it is, what's its number?
It should be. I guess it's not included in this folder. I submitted it on
Let me see.
Friday.
Yeah.
Are all of those bills in consideration today?
Let me see. What, the Big Four correspondence?
Yes.
It's 800 code or is it?
It's an 800 code that is not judish.
Budget.
Oh, okay. Then Presentment Refinement Act. Let's see. That's a RMP change. Or 100 code, sorry.
Presentment Refinement Act. Where is that? Why is it not here? What? That might be on me.
Here. It's not on.
It's not on there? Okay, that's on me. It's going to become 1510.
If you'd like, I can go ahead and read the bill.
I move to go into consideration of SSB.
Wait, let me add it first. But yeah, you can make the motion.
Okay.
That's fine.
SSB 2024-1510 by unanimous consent.
Okay.
15, right? 15. Is that the number?
Is it 1510?
1510 is going to be the
Yeah,
number.
1510, there we go. Getting a little sleepy over here.
You're good.
I want to put 2025 as well. Alright.
Okay.
It's, I think that's
This
shot
is
counting.
going to. It's going. We don't have quorum if you leave, just so you know.
Can I just go to the bathroom?
You can,
Go fast.
while you're doing it, while he's doing
I submitted a few more that weren't budgeted.
Which ones?
The Rule 3 meetings for Senate amendment RMP change.
Okay, let me save these. And this is going to be 1510.
As well as the committee. to
Oh,
floor.
there's more? How did I miss all of these? Wait, which ones are not included?
Not included would be the Big Four Correspondence Act, the
Big Four is not us.
the role.
No, what?
XI,
Which ones did I not include in the
Oh, okay.
docket?
Committee to floor amendment.
That's on there.
All right. 300 codes revision.
Chapter 323.
Yeah.
Yep, that's in the document.
Cool. Senate minutes. Enumeration.
That's in there.
Cool. And recording of
Yep,
sections.
also in there.
Great.
Okay, let me add files apparently. Okay. Files upload. Nope. Preventative measures clarification? No. It's the Presentment. Okay.
Presentment, yes.
Cool. There we go. Let me-
It just adds a definition.
Okay, there it is. Okay, which one would you like to move into first?
Presentment is good.
Okay.
Since you're in the meeting, I'll send you the thing.
Thank you.
All right. We're now in line for SSB 2024-1510. It should be added for everyone. Okay. Yeah. 5 minutes of presentation whenever you're ready.
Pretty much, this bill just adds the definition for presentment, which is the official process of submitting a bill to the student body president or treasurer via email or physical form by the Senate secretaries after it's been passed in the student senate. This is in alignment with the student body constitution, but and most definitions that are in the constitution are also in the student body statutes. Presentment just wasn't one of them. So this is just to align with the Constitution. We pretty much already follow all of the rules listed in this revision. It's just not clearly stated in our statutes. I would rest my time.
All right. 5 minutes of Q&A whenever everyone's ready. Yeah, go for it.
So what is the rationale of the last sentence? The presentation of the bill shall take place no later than 72 hours after its passage.
That is whenever I asked Manish, he said this is the amount of time that's usually given for bills to be presented to the student body president.
Is that codified though? Or is that just like tradition?
I guess tradition, every Senate president that I've talked to has followed the next day rule pretty much, because we have our Senate meetings in the evening. They usually just submit any past legislations the following day. This gives them an extra 2 days. So
Any more questions? Seeing none, 5 minutes of debate. Yeah, I know that to be not true. That they don't get it within a day, especially the president specifically. As much as I wish that were the case, that doesn't happen. Sometimes it might. Sometimes it definitely takes longer than that before it's presented. I think this is two separate bills. I think the second part is a separate idea. The first part is just a definition. The second part is stipulating a timeline, which in my opinion is a clarity issue. I think the second part should be a separate bill and up for its own debate on that specific section of it, because that is something that should be debated, how long the presentment period, how long it takes before it is presented. But the first part of the definition itself should absolutely be included. I don't know why it's not. So I think just the last sentence should be stricken, just because it's a separate concept. Yeah.
I agree with the clarity issue. And
Fix the. Yeah.
All right. Is there any more debate? Seeing none, final privilege.
yeah, I would be happy to remove that line. I know there's been a couple of times this past session where Monish has missed or submitted by like 10 days later or so, but he said that was a rare occurrence, holidays and things like that. But yeah, we can totally amend. I'm cool with that, submitting this other bill some other time.
All right. You waive the rest?
Yeah, I would.
All right. Are there any motions at this time?
Move to amend SSB 2024-1510 to strike the last sentence of the bill by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
I move to amend SSB 2024-1510 to just fix this error. It should say treasurer instead of treasure. Treasurer instead of treasure.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. All right.
Is the spacing fine? When it
Wait.
is correction.
I'll let this committee at rest. Sorry, I'm just looking at the Constitution really quickly.
I think when you fix the part, it will fix
Yeah.
the space.
It's like one word together.
Is there a timeline? Where is the timeline? I know there is one for vetoes.
I assumed it would have been the same.
It's planned legislation.
That's what I thought.
It could have been changed.
Where's the hyperlink worked on RMP? Awesome. Maybe it's just. Let me look.
I know there is a timeline somewhere. I swear I've seen one before.
Because the SG Constitution is based on the United States Constitution in many respects, it's probably the same 10 days for veto, because that's how it is for the U.S. president.
I'd like to assume that.
Sometimes we're silly though. Should like to.
Does anyone want a piece of gum?
Pick you up on that, actually.
No, but thank you.
Appreciate it though. There's only one mention of the word veto in the entire 200 codes. What?
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Incoming guy.
Thank you.
Ah, 302.3.
Yeah, and the 300 codes, 10 days.
This clause doesn't make sense.
It's all but now,
Upon the Senate President's signature, or after 10 calendar days upon presentment to the Senate President,
That just means due to inaction.
Okay.
the bill will be presented to the student body president.
Yeah, okay.
What?
So we can
Doesn't
zoom into
upset
that
me,
later.
don't worry.
I'm starting that too
You know-
anyway. So.
Hello?
Our resolutions passed with a majority, huh?
What? Where do you see what?
I'm just curious. I'm
Yes,
reading the
resolutions are a majority.
Our Constitution says 2/3. What?
What?
I'm just looking.
Oh no.
I'm not crazy, right?
Uh-oh.
What?
Where do you see that? What article and section?
It's section A. It's like at the end of it. It's like literally the sentence before section.
Oh,
What the hell?
ew.
Have we been violating our Constitution?
Oh
for the
my
last
god, are you
forever?
kidding me?
What the hell? I just found something groundbreaking
How
by
how
accident.
long has this been going on for? That's insane. This has been multiple judiciary committees for years going, and this is never.
I guarantee if I told Oscar this, they would be like, "Huh?"
Unless it's been changed.
Or this is the 2016.
That's what I'm
Constitution,
on.
And I don't think there's been any
Oh,
updates to the
no.
Constitution since
Oh,
then.
no.
Yeah, it's every 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh no.
For the revisions.
Exactly.
And I don't think any new.
We haven't had anything particular with that, especially. What the hell? That's something we need to talk about at a different time. That's not turned into this bill. We wanted to have Antonio's bill get through. He has to go.
Yeah. Okay, so yours says presentment is for the. the Senate president. As your bill says, the student body president. The only thing I see in here is Senate president. Presentment, is there presentment for the student body president?
Submitting to the student body president. That's what presentment is.
It's not what the codes say, but it is what the Constitution says.
From the Senate president to the student body president.
I found in
It's
section 8 procedures B.
That's what I'm in right now.
Yeah, it does say, like, has not vetoed the bill.
Okay, so the 300 codes is wrong. That's really cool. Okay.
I
Shit
didn't
to
think
figure
to
out.
look into 300 codes for this.
Yeah, because this says
This is interesting, isn't it?
10 calendar days upon presentment to the Senate president. Then it will be presented to the student body
Nobody can say no
president.
read. We do.
Yeah,
That's
that
the
code
people before us.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm hesitant to pass this because there is no 10-day period listed for the president, only for the Senate president. That might be an oversight. I don't want to, if that isn't I don't know what this is trying to do.
Except when the student body president has not vetoed the bill within 10 days after presentment.
That could also just be a typo in the 300 codes. Because presentment is from the legislative branch to the executive branch, not the other way around.
Okay, I'm inclined to pass this, and then we really need to fix this in the 300 codes.
Thank you for pointing it out.
Yeah,
I'm definitely willing to help with that.
because this is saying that we presented to the Senate president, and then the Senate president
It's just
Um,
the resolution part is just keeping me
can
going.
sign to pass the bills into law. That's just not the case. Okay, I believe you. I think yours is more right. Okay, cool.
Wow, I didn't even know resolutions are not subject to veto.
Yeah, they're not.
I didn't know this.
Yes, that's when I received 3 vetoes, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoops.
Authorizations, I knew that part.
Okay, are we lined for debate or final privilege right now?
I believe it's
Final
debate.
privilege or
You were debating.
I think it's
debate?
debate.
Yeah,
Okay, I call this meeting back to order first of all. Yeah, sure. I think this makes sense. Wait, we already amended it, so
You've
we're
amended
yeah.
it both ways.
So we're in line for motions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
motions.
Yeah,
Okay.
you did actually.
Are there any motions at this time?
I moved pass SSP 2024-15 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections?
Unanimous consent.
Seeing no, that motion passes. That is really interesting.
I'm happy
Still
to help
keep the
the
resolution
Judiciary
part.
Committee find.
I'm gonna look at okay. It's 1. Do you have to head out or
No, they'll just delay the meeting a little bit, or
okay?
I'm not pertinent to the agenda.
Because
until a little
can
later.
anyone look this up while we're going on to the next bill? The Jonathan Stevens' presentation for the legislative workshop.
That's
I don't know where it is.
Mhm.
It's on this same
Senate,
It's
resources.
really on the it's on Senate. It's really the one that's in
The
resources.
next I'd like to go over is
Here.
Rule 3 meetings of the Senate.
Okay.
RPJ.
This. Hold on.
It's a PowerPoint for Johnny St.
Yeah, I
Pierce on.
got it.
1505. Okay, yeah.
This thing.
Yes. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, down. Yep.
It does require a 2/3 vote. Johnny did
Requires
have it right.
2/3 vote.
So we've been thankfully we haven't violated this because all resolutions I believe are passed pretty much unanimously.
Yeah.
That is really interesting to hear though. Okay.
Johnny knew it.
Wise. Johnny did know it. I don't think we followed that though, did we?
Apparently not.
Okay, why is this opening for everyone else?
Did you move to consider it, or have you just...
I moved
Oh, I lost all Wi-Fi.
I moved to
Okay.
consider SSB 2024 for 1005 by unanimous consent.
1505?
1505.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if I can actually look at it now. That's wild.
Really, here we are, Constitution back here.
Cool. All right, 5 minutes presentation whenever you're ready.
Alright. This just adds a rule that says during a special meeting of the Student Senate, no amendments to the rules and procedures shall be considered, voted upon, or allowed on the agenda. Special meetings are rare, special, and they're usually very sudden. And the idea behind this is that everyone should know the rules of the game before going into it. We have, I believe for the most part, already been following this rule. I've attended maybe 4 special meetings in my year and a half in office, and I think we've only had one amendment to RMP, or it was a special rule for that one meeting. It wasn't an RMP change. So yeah, I think this just codifies that. It's very simple. I believe.
All right, now line for 5 minutes of questions.
So this is more of like a point of clarification. So 3 of the 5 of us on this committee haven't been to a special meeting because we're summer replacement senators. Why is it that no amendments are to be considered during most?
I don't understand your question.
Basically, just like why is it like no amendments shall be considered, voted upon, or allowed on the agenda during these special meetings?
Again, it's
I know it's tradition, but like what's the rationale?
like you wouldn't want. No one wants the rug pulled from under them. Basically, a changing of the rules could significantly change the standing of Senate. For example, a superminority party could, or supermajority party could meet quorum without the rest of the Senate being available and completely change the rules of the Senate in a special meeting, which would fundamentally change the way, it could potentially fundamentally change the way student government works without considering all sides of an argument.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, I leave the committee to rest really quickly. I thought we already passed this, or this isn't in the rules?
Rule 19 is similar, but this is about a special meeting. This is a little different.
Okay.
At first I thought this was the exact same
me
bill
too.
as Rule 19, but then I read special meeting, so it is different.
I think whenever we passed that, I was like, huh, this should be followed through for special meetings too.
What does it say in Rule 19?
2A, that's because of the pertinent part. Which is ironic because of our last meeting, actually. If you look at 19 2A.
Whoa. No one got that.
Yeah, I did that after the meeting.
All right, well, we're now, okay, in line 4, or is we still in Q&A?
Yeah, we have like 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. But
So wait, why would it be bad to allow amendments to rules and procedures at a special meeting?
It fundamentally changes the rules during a non-standard meeting, which is usually done. This sort of meeting is usually done all of a sudden, sometimes without all of the members present due to whatever circumstance. It can be called into order within a very short period of time. I forget the exact.
Then now, it was 10 minutes. I thought it was
Yeah.
really short. For example, the one we have.
So, again, like the rules of the game, you don't want the rules changed suddenly. The rug pulled from under you.
What if there was some sort of like grave oversight that say the Senate needed to correct really quickly?
Like what?
Following, okay, yeah, I don't have any more questions. Anyone any more questions? Nope. Okay. Yeah, 5 minutes of debate. Yeah, so I actually know of a case where this actually needed to be done. Specifically, Svea. That was a special meeting. And that had to happen because we couldn't reach quorum. And that was a problem. And I think it was moved to be added to the rules and procedures specifically so we can maintain quorum to have meetings at that point in time. I think the purpose of this is that sometimes when there's such a big issue that we have to change the rules in order to prevent catastrophe in the Senate, is that you can. And we've seen it happen before. I think this, like, I see where you're coming from. That you don't want to, like, change the rules of the game, like, use it maliciously. But there's definitely a positive use for this, in that it's allowed us to fill seats at a very quick notice, change rules that allowed us to bring back quorum. I think it's a good thing to have. Otherwise, we'd be reliant on the courts to fix those problems if it weren't. Yeah. So I think it actually, even though this might allow for some bad things to happen, it does provide a reasonable fail-safe against, like, huge issues where the rules have to be changed in order for us to continue functioning as a legislature. I know not everyone's, like, aware of using that because that's pretty old stuff. Happened a while ago. But yeah. Okay. That's all I have. Any more debate? All right. 2 minutes final privilege. Whenever you're ready.
Then maybe it would be, I think that this amendment provides necessary safeguards that are extremely necessary. So maybe it can be amended for, to consider something like voting thresholds. The number of cases or of extreme situations in which the Senate as a whole would need to change rules and procedures during the special meeting is rare, and really the only ones that I could think of would be SPIA for quorum. There aren't many other issues that need to be resolved in that way. And SPIA exists, so we can't use that one as an example anymore, I guess. I would.
All right. We're now in line for any motions at this time.
I move to fail SSB 2024-1505 based on implication that it prevents the Senate from dealing with, like, catastrophes quickly, or with the rules and procedures by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. What bill would you like to consider next?
Committee to the floor.
Committee?
Rules and procedures change.
All right, that is 1506 for everyone. Well, let me open it. Oh, it will. Okay. Yep, 5 minutes presentation whenever you're ready.
All standing and ad hoc committees may, by 2/3 majority vote, refer legislation and amendments directly to the floor for consideration. The referred legislation shall be automatically scheduled for first readings and determined by the committee's decision. This just gives committees the ability to submit legislation. I think there was a bill that either passed or was submitted recently that allows the majority of committee, if the majority of a single committee wrote a legislation, I think it was the Judiciary, to review its legislation and then submit it to the Senate floor. This provides that for
What?
all the other committees.
I'm sorry.
I would.
What are you referring to? What bill?
I don't remember. A few days ago, I saw a bill that said something about. Are we in question and answer?
Mm-hmm.
That gave the Judiciary Committee specifically the ability to review their own legislation and submit it to the Senate if a majority of that committee authored that bill. I don't know if it passed.
It did
or
not
didn't
pass
pass.
Judiciary.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is similar. It just is for all committees. Yeah.
Would you say that this is an oversight of ad hoc committees, because it's the role of the Judiciary Committee to review basically all bills that are in budget, and then it's the role of the Budget Committee to review budget bills before they go onto the Senate floor?
From my remembrance, nearly every other than, I guess, the Government Oversight Committee, nearly every ad hoc committee that has submitted legislation co-wrote it in some part with the judiciary, at least the judiciary chair, if I'm remembering correctly.
We're talking about last summer. That was the case last summer.
Yeah.
Since then, I don't believe that's happened, but yes. Are there any more questions? Seeing none, 5 minutes of debate. Yeah, okay, I'm going to take the same position I take here as how I took it in the Senate meeting, is that, first of all, this is a direct contradiction of the rules. Like, direct. This is a huge clarity issue. This stipulates something differently than what it already says, that legislation has to be submitted that's non-budgetary to the Judiciary Committee, budget legislation to budget, direct contradiction. So that's a problem. Continuing on, I am not a fan of when that happens at all. And I wasn't a fan when this, we referred legislation to an ad hoc in the spring that was dealing with external, what are they called? Satellite campuses. There was a whole ad hoc that was created. We sent legislation to said ad hoc, and the legislation disappeared, vanished completely. I am not a fan of sending legislation to ad hocs anymore based on that. And even if we do send it to them, I'm under the expectation that they will send it back, because otherwise we're circumventing the ability to review it based on the 5 criteria, which is what all bills are supposed to go through. So I think this is a problem implication-wise for the quality of legislation. If we were to pass something that violates the Constitution and we never even got to review it as a committee, that's a problem. But I also think it's a problem with clarity because it just directly contradicts other rules and procedures. You'd have to amend those in conjunction with this for it to fix that portion of it. But I don't think it's a good idea. And the referred legislation shall be automatically scheduled for first. Does it mean first readings or like the first thing in first readings?
Yeah.
Okay,
First
so
readings.
first readings, not the first thing in first readings. Okay, okay, that's not included. But either way, that's my position. I don't like when things go around the committees, and the contradiction is kind of unavoidable in this one.
I agree with you. I think that a bypass of the Judiciary Committee or a budget, if it was a budget bill, is not to be permitted, probably. So.
Any more debate? Seeing none, 2 minutes final privilege.
This bill wouldn't allow budgetary bills to bypass the budget committee, if
Okay, I see.
nor the Judiciary Committee's bills to bypass the Judiciary Committee. It's ran by the Judiciary Committee.
Ad hoc committee, that's it.
What's written by the?
He's saying if a judiciary, I guess we can't.
Yes, if the Judiciary Committee writes a bill, the Judiciary Committee
understand.
reviews that bill, so on. Yeah, we can amend it so that ad hocs are not included in this. I would be fine with that. Yeah, and first readings as well.
All right, we're now in line for.
I would, yes.
Line for any motions at this time. Are there any motions?
I move to fail SSB 2024-1506 by clarity, because this is a contradiction to what is already established by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. Which one next?
Chapter 323 amendment, 300 votes revision.
All right. This bill was failed in the spring, I believe, after the election, which means it's not eligible to be resubmitted until the following validation of election results.
Okay. Senate minutes.
1508. All right. Does anyone want to recess really quickly, or no? Are we good?
Just power.
I
Sure.
have to go to anyway.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, I have to go to the bathroom after this one, so. All right, we're now in line for the consideration of SSP 2024-1508. 5 minutes presentation whenever you're ready.
Our statutes mandates that we have meeting minutes for our student body senate, but doesn't specify what those minutes should entail or include. This just gives the basic outline. I pass the wait. Thank you.
All right.
5 minutes Q&A. Are we on
Yep.
Q&A?
All right,
Yep.
awesome.
5 minutes Q&A.
So on the hearing minutes under subsection A, I believe it's Roman numeral 6, subsection A. Why full legal name, and why would we include objections? Like, let's say we're in Senate, we want to hear a ton of bills, and let's say Minority Leader Pelton objects to every single bill.
That's a
Would
crazy
he
call
have
out.
to- Sorry.
I'm going to issue
Well,
a
like-
warning for that, actually.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
But we're not allowed to like call out people.
No.
Okay, sorry. My bad, I didn't know that. But like, let's say a senator objects to like a lot of different ones. Would he? It just doesn't make sense that they would have to like write down their objections. What would you say about that? And then play the full legal name.
So in most governmental or legislative bodies, objections are recorded.
Gotcha.
In previous Senate meetings over the summer last year, objections were recorded, specifically when the Senate President knew who objected. If there were multiple objections, then it wasn't recorded. It was just multiple senators objected. Full legal name is terminology used throughout the student body statutes. This probably wouldn't require like the actual full name, just first and last. Or maybe we can amend this to be just last name, although then there's the potential of multiple senators with the same last name, you know. Yes, was there more to your question? Did I answer it all?
Would you be willing to amend if we could just put like the first initial dot last name, or the first like yeah, I just don't want it to get like too complicated.
As far as these meeting minutes go, would there be no room for, let's say, not amending the meeting minutes, but moving it around or certain sections of it around, or is this absolutely fully in place?
This is just says that these areas have to be included,
Okay.
not the order or the breadth of it, or depth, I guess. Highly flexible.
Any more questions? Seeing none, 5 minutes of debate. Sorry, I'm looking through the rules. There's 85 mentions of minutes in the rules. That's crazy.
I'll say that the one thing is we model our meeting minute style after the Board of Trustees meeting minutes, and that's how it's been for pretty much as far back as Senate has gone. And I feel that taking that, I mean, it's been a good structured setup as far as how meeting minutes have gone so far, and I don't really see a need to change them at any point. So.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of recording a brief summary of the objections.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, if there's an objection, we get to it later. That's the whole point, is they'll bring up their objection in the debate itself. Recording it at that time just adds on stuff that we don't need to be adding on. There's a reason you can't explain your objection. That's actually another rule. Let me see if this, does this contradict? No. Where is it? Yeah. Yeah, no senator may explain their vote when a vote is taking place. And an objection is a vote, essentially, because it's a vote not to approve. So I think that also is a clarity issue. But more than that, I don't think we should be doing it. Just in general. Yeah. Also, all items on the meeting agenda are part of the meeting agenda, which is published. That's public. So I don't know why we'd include that in the minutes as well. Yeah. Attendance is also recorded. I don't know why we'd put it in the minutes. There's a whole attendance section. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Any more debate? Seeing none, final privilege, all yours.
This doesn't fundamentally change anything on our meeting minutes. This information is already recorded. It just specifies that it should be recorded in our books. Meaning attendance is recorded in our meeting minutes. You're right. Every item on our agenda is recorded on our meeting minutes. But currently, minutes are subjective to the Senate secretaries and doesn't specify what has to be recorded in the meeting minutes, or at least not in a single place. This does that. I would be happy to amend it such that the brief summary of objections is not included. Though again, many legislative bodies do record objections, usually in a very simple form like I object due to legality or personal privilege. It's usually a very, very short phrase. I waive.
All right, we're now in line for any motions at this time.
I move to fail SSB 2024-1508 based on, hold on, let me just figure this out. Based on implication? That this would be way too time consuming and then it would just get like messy during the Senate meeting by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. We're now in line for
Separately, Recording Objections Act for temporal voice recognition. This
Oh.
Sure.
do you have the SSB?
Oh, you just,
yeah,
Sure.
yeah, 1509.
Are we ready?
Yeah, they were waiting on someone.
This was submitted as a separate bill because I knew that there would be questions about the objections, which is why I said I would be amicable to amend the previous bill if it were, if there were too many concerns about this recognizing objections. In this bill, it just states that senators will indicate their objections to all main motions on their voter records, so that if there's an issue of the Senate secretaries not knowing someone's names, they can include it in the minutes later, just as we do with all major motions that are not normally scheduled. They are always included in our meeting minutes and on the voter records. Again, it acknowledges the senators by name and allows them to give their extremely brief rationale report for their objections. I suppose a clause could be added for if multiple objections occur, then the individual senators are not needed to be acknowledged immediately. Again, they're included in the voter records. So it makes it very simple, not at all time consuming in the Senate chambers. I highly recommend the committee to reconsider the previous bill. I waive.
All right, we're in 5 minutes of Q&A. Do you believe this contradicts the codes that state that you cannot explain how you're voting?
I do not believe that an objection itself is a vote. It is to a motion. We vote after a motion has been made and heard. The objection itself is not a vote.
All right, So follow-up question. If it's not a vote, why should it be on the voting record?
We pass by unanimous consent. We, like, if a question was called into issue, it is recorded whether or not motions have been ejected. This just states who objected. Does that answer your question?
Sure. Any more questions? Seeing none, 5 minutes of debate. Yeah, I don't see a reason to explain your objection. That's kind of the whole point of an objection is you come back to it, and you have plenty of time to explain during the rest of the deliberation on the bill itself. And if it's not a vote, I don't know why we put it on our voting record. If you're objecting to a motion that is, it is a main motion, is it not? It is a main motion, but the motion has to be remade later anyway. I think the actual vote is more indicative than recording the objection itself, especially if the objection is not a vote. Yeah, that's what I think. Debate? Seeing none, final privilege.
I think there are many motions in which we end up not having debate on. And an objection removes the option for debate later. Like, it's just, especially if it's done. Yeah, in this clause it says motions made by unanimous consent, meaning there wouldn't have been a debate anyways. So I don't fully understand the arguments made during the debate here. I wait.
All right. I lay the committee at rest really quickly. If it passes, there's no debate, but if you object, then there is. Because then you have to go into the bill itself. Like if you object to a bill passing or to it failing, you can't fail by unanimous consent. If you object to it passing, then you have to move into the bill itself. And then there's
Say
also...
moving to recess, for example. Well, that's not making a motion. Is it?
Wait 1 second. Let me look for...
We've all been in the Senate chambers, and there's been a motion made by unanimous consent, and then there's an objection, and we just move on. There's no debate.
Well, yeah.
Afterwards.
Until we go back to the bill. We get like objecting to...
You're referring to through unanimous consent being done during amendments to the agenda, for example?
Yes.
There are other times.
Yeah. Are you referring to like bill passing unanimous consent or just unanimous consent motions?
Main motions done by unanimous consent, yes.
Okay. But I mean, if it's objected to, then it's remade, and main motions have debate on them.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd get to explain yourself in debate if you object.
If it is remade, not by unanimous consent, which it's not always.
Okay. I call the meeting back to order. Line for any motions at this time? Are there any motions? I can't make a motion, so...
Are you the vice chair?
Huh?
Are you the vice chair?
I'm not.
No. There is no vice chair as of right now. I haven't actually sent any emails. All right.
Okay. I move to. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm not I can't sound like this. But I move to fail SSVA 2024-1509 by clarity that this goes against what a voting record is by unanimous consent.
Can you repeat that one more time? Sorry.
I move to fail this based on clarity, because that is not what a voting record does. The definition of a voting record by unanimous consent.
I don't believe that falls under clarity. If you explain it differently, maybe, but I don't think, as you stated, that would fall under clarity.
Okay, so I'm going to make the motion to fail SSB 2024-1509 based off implication that this goes against what a voting record is by unanimous consent. No. I'm trying to find out how to do it.
Okay, I'm going to state this for the record. Technically, the committee does not have to state exactly what the implication is, but it has been precedent for me to mandate that, because I think it's probably a good thing. But yeah, I don't think that is. I don't think that's valid. I'm not gonna. I mean, it's hard because technically I can't not accept it. Is what I'm trying to point out.
May I recommend tabling until you understand the implications better?
Sure.
That's just trying to figure out how to word that.
That's fine. That's fine.
My head is absolutely murdering me. So
Yeah.
I moved to table SSB 2024.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Okay, brief. I don't know if it's point of personal privilege, but does anybody have Advil? I'm dying.
Do you want water?
No. I don't want to drink out of your cup.
Understandable.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it to you.
Appreciate it.
My head's killing me.
So I have a sports keeper right now. Free waterfall.
Before we consider the next thing, can I go grab some water real quick?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Do I hear a call to recess? Oh, motion to recess till called back by the chair by unanimous consent.
So moved.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. I call the meeting back to order at 1:44 p.m. on Sunday, July 14th. May members of the committee please state their name for the record.
Joshua Gotcha.
Matthew Bravo.
Jackson Ransom.
Daniel Armour.
Aaron Rubio as chair, Senator Monson as clerk, and any other members of the public, please state your name for the record.
Senator Austin Britton.
Timer Spawn.
All right, with 5 members present, quorum is established. We are now moving into the consideration of SSP 2024-1501. You have 5 minutes to present whenever you are ready.
Doing the clerk stuff. Give me a second, please.
Yeah, all good.
Multitasking quite hard. Okay, it's
I'm excited to hear.
1:44. And it's not AM, it's PM. So Andrew's not here. Tyler Squad is here. Aaron, are you okay?
I'm just tired, dude.
Felt. I'm almost done. I'm correcting times. Okay, I'm good from here. So, this is the result. This is the big result of our meeting from Friday. There is a lot that does change. As we see, this has been addressed. Let me actually bring the bill, because I actually don't have that at the moment. But, for example, we changed the name. That's one thing in itself. Emergency Center Replacement Procedure. We wanted to say that this should not be something that's a regular thing. This is something that it's unexpected or it's a literal emergency. That this would have to be invoked. And that they have the option to. They submit it to R&E chair. They submit it to Senate President. There's a timeline for when they have to. It's 48 hours. That's what we decided. They have to give contact information so that there's not concern about the INC chair. We had everyone there. We had every chair there. We had every person there. The exact voting procedure, or actually the procedure for this candidate in particular, it follows just R&A committee recommendations. We wanted this to be a separate section on the agenda that we were going to let R&A do. There's something about orientation that it's something to do with Laurel, so she's not being censured for something she can't control. Honestly, I've touched on about everything that we have done. It took a lot of just, cordial discussion that we actually very well did. I'm very happy for it. There's something about a skeleton agenda as well. That's just in case Blake screws up and doesn't send the agenda by 3 p.m. the day before. We've had about every contingency that you can think of that we've addressed in the past 2 months. And this, if you have questions, please ask, because This was something that all of us came together that were there. If you have any additions that you need to make that you feel that has to be done, please let me know. I think we've covered quite literally everything though. Talk about voting procedure, everyone decided 2/3 is an appropriate amount because it's such a high standard that the fact that like it has to have a substantial amount of the Senate to say that this person is qualified. And this person, they are basically recommended by the person that is resigning. They go to Senate, 3 minutes presentation, 3 minutes of Q&A, debate, final privilege, etc. And then there's a 2/3 vote. If that person doesn't get through, seat opens up to RNA. Follow standard procedure for RNA. It just gives the opportunity for people to understand who this person is to make sure they are qualified. They are coming there for an actual reason, that this person satisfies the will of the voters, as we've said. What is the will of the voters? And I feel that if this person shows they're qualified and 2/3 of the Senate approves it, I feel like that substantiates it. So I'll waive the rest. Yeah, this is the baby of everything.
All right. We're now on for 5 minutes of question and answer.
Only thing I have to ask, and I'm sure I know what the answer is going to be, but this is grandfathered into people who are already replaced. Okay, that's all.
We
Only thing I'm
could
gonna
add
make sure.
clause if we need to about that, but
No,
I think
it's automatic.
I think it's
I
automatic.
think it's
Yeah.
understood.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
That was all. It'd be funny.
I'd love for there to be an option for them to submit a resume. Would you be open to adding that?
I love that idea actually. Can that be under
It's gonna be
AI, that area? Because there's the part about actually not that. Hold on. I looked at the wrong spot. There's part of them submitting a video or something like that.
yes.
I think that area would be perfect as well. Like that they have to provide their resume or something like that, even if they're not there.
You can't even say have to, but just may.
Yeah, they may, and it helps
Okay.
substantiate their resume,
Yes.
their credibility for herself.
Under C.
Yeah,
Because say they're not there. This is for debate. Okay, if a senator isn't there to present and they submit a video presentation, what else would we have to go on?
exactly. That's something I think is great. I like that addition a lot. Actually, I think everyone would be very pro for that. I know my side will. I'll just speak on behalf of change, but I'm pretty sure this is something that I guess will just help improve the person's credibility as is too.
Also, how, just more of a general question, but like, let's say we didn't get a copy of the person's resume.
Mhm.
How would we go about essentially fact checking them if they send in some sort of video thing and we voted on them that day?
It's one of those things that you can always check their LinkedIn if they have it. That's one thing that does exist. That's something I don't want us to have to do and see if there's things that don't exist. It's one of those things, if they're trying to run for this office, I hope they're being truthful. And if they're not,
Agreed.
I hope you call them out. And
Yeah.
if that's the case, they just don't have a seat. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And if it's a simple mistake that like they didn't mean to do and it's very clear that it was like accidental, they shouldn't be penalized. But if it was something that was like so stark and like huge that like it would have inflated their resume by 100,
Right.
they didn't include it, obviously that's deceptive and I feel like shouldn't be a senator.
Yeah, like the only instance I've seen of something like that happening was somebody said they were like a director instead of being an AD or something like that. But I don't know.
Would you be amenable to changing the amount of time given to debate? Because right now there are 4 rounds to 3 rounds, with 2 rounds being 1-1 and then 1 round being 2-2.
That's fine with me.
Okay, because this is just a lot of time.
I agree. But I was thinking the fact that this is someone's seat that will be.
Yeah, this is just. I mean,
I'm honestly fine with that. I just want us to have debate that there's a substantial amount, and I think that's substantial enough too.
6, 12, 16.
I believe this is procedure for what RNA does have at the moment.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, I like the getting rid of 1 round of the previous 1 minute debate and just keeping it at you have 4 minutes in total time to debate on the candidate.
I think that's understandable.
Yeah.
And we can always move to add if we have to. Like that's
Yeah.
something that always exists.
Sure. All right. Any more questions?
Is this the wording? I might just be reading it wrong, or maybe is this the most current version? I'm hoping it is. Right? There was no like changing.
I took the most current version.
Okay.
Of
So I'm
this
reading this the very first under A, and the wording is like, I don't know if this cross out isn't supposed to be there, or there's supposed to be a comma, but it's saying
Where?
it just goes right under subsection A, like right under emergency Senate replacement procedure. The first thing, the first sentence makes sense, and then it goes and it crosses out effective immediately, and then it just says rules and ethics chairperson, Senate president, and Senate president pro tem, and then
I
it
get
just
what you're
ends the
saying.
sentence.
I get what
Yep,
saying.
you're correct.
That is true. That was something that we actually were trying to do. Let me check.
So
Let me check the exact file and see. 'Cause,
okay,
when I was doing this, I was having to transfer from Google Doc to
Yeah.
Word, which was not fun.
that's fine. I think maybe
I'll look into it real quick.
there's maybe not supposed to be a name a replacement to serve in their capacity as student senator effective immediately. Maybe it's just not supposed to be crossed out.
No, the effective immediately was purposely crossed out.
Oh.
We wanted that crossed out.
Oh yeah, 'cause you
It's
changed it
we're supposed to have a part that says like
Yeah,
you send
yeah.
your email to those people.
Yeah. Okay.
You send the email of the person.
Okay.
Honestly, I think that should be crossed out because if you look right after it,
That has it in there
yeah,
already.
I think that should be crossed out.
So
as
just
well.
cross out that whole
Yes.
sentence. Okay,
Exactly.
we can do it. We can amend it. Just
Good
make sure.
catch.
Can you look at that and make sure if we cross it out, it's still going to be good. There's
Yeah.
only 10 seconds, but you can do it when it's over. So it's fine.
All right. Any more questions? Seeing none, 5 minutes of debate. I like this. I still don't think it's perfect. I'm not sure it can be. Yeah, I'm glad there's a threshold for approval. Yeah, I like that there's debate on them, especially so at least the public can hear. I think we should just add anything about a resume directly below section. I think it should be B2.
Okay. Sorry. that's
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's good. Strike that one sentence in the first clause and then change the debate time limit. I think that's fine.
If the resume should be under B2.
I think it should be BII.
What about C though? C has
Well,
the video.
I don't want it to be about them being physically present.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any more debate? Seeing none, 2 minutes found privilege.
I actually almost forgot about this because I mentioned it earlier. For stipulations 2, the Senate may extend this maximum by a 3/5 vote. We would like to do that 2/3.
Cool.
Thank you. I was gonna ask if you would want that under A2 or B2, or like making it A2 or B2, because A kind of like is how to contact them, the procedure of it itself. B is just kind of like how it goes on the floor.
I can't really respond, but
I was like, yeah, you can't respond obviously, but that's one thing that obviously I don't really care where it goes.
Yeah.
As long as it's there. I think all these changes that you've mentioned are good. Thank you, Danny, for checking that thing that was supposed to be crossed out. To my knowledge, if that weird part is crossed out, it makes
I
sense.
think it's listed right after those people.
I can read it aloud if we need to, but I think just reading it, if we cross the rules and ethics part to the end of the replacement agenda committee for that A part, it makes sense. But yes, I'm very happy that this was a compromise. I'm very happy that it's open to the public. People can ask things, and yeah, sick. I'll wave.
All right, good with.
okay. All right. Any motions at this time?
I move to. We have a lot of amendments, but I'll just do the one that I got.
Yeah.
I move to amend SSP 2024-50M1 to strike the sentence that reads what was previously stated under Section A of 3A. I can read it if you want. Here,
Just that starts with rules and ethics.
Rules and ethics and ends
Yeah.
with agenda committee, replacement agenda committee.
We're so
Oh,
close.
by unanimous consent.
Are there any
Sorry.
objections?
Sorry,
Seeing none, that
sorry,
motion
sorry.
passes.
I move to amend SSB 2024-1501 to add under section B a second point which says the replacement candidate may choose to provide a resume to the members of the chamber for review by unanimous consent. Are you good with that? Okay. That's what I was writing on here.
Can you let me rest for 1 second?
What?
Can you let me rest for 1 single second?
Yeah, let the committee rest.
Obviously I want this. We just need to make sure that like it's not personal information infringement of any sort.
Yes.
That's one thing we'll have to make sure.
I'll include that in a subsection to that.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
I just thought about that just a second ago because I know RNA has to like redact certain things.
Yeah. I could say for qualification review if if you wanted instead. How about
Whatever
that for
we see is
qualification
better.
review? Because then that would reasonably interpret that we don't need their phone number or something.
Because there's a public meeting, and I imagine
Can you rescind that motion, actually?
I rescind that motion.
Okay.
is still a rest.
Yes. How do we feel about this wording? The replacement candidate may provide a resume to the members of the Senate for qualification review by email correspondence prior to the Senate President.
Or pro tempore. Maybe both, because they're
and Senate President pro tempore. Okay. The replacement candidate may provide a resume to the members of the Senate for qualification review. Subsection. This resume shall be sent by email.
no correspondence or something.
Sent by email correspondence to the Senate President and Senate President pro tempore prior to or during the Senate meeting during which they are up for consideration. And then the subsection again, any resume submitted shall have all personal information redacted.
'Cause
Cool.
Blake and Manish can make
Yeah.
sure that's redacted.
Yeah, they can do that.
That's
All right.
That stuff's good. Yeah.
Okay, I call the committee back to order. Do I hear a motion to amend SSB 2024-1501 to add a clause II beneath section B that reads, the replacement candidate may provide a resume to the members of the Senate for qualification review, and under that subsection to create two more subsections, subsection 1 stating that this resume shall be sent by email correspondence to the Senate President and Senate President pro tempore prior to or during the Senate meeting during which they are up for consideration, and 2, any resume submitted shall have all personal information redacted by unanimous consent.
So moved.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Do I hear a motion to amend SSB 2024-1501 to change 3/5 in section E subsection 2 to read 2/3 by unanimous consent?
So moved.
Let me make this red and everything.
Right, we can't speak, but if y'all want to be sponsors, kind of late because y'all are contributors.
I want to be a sponsor.
Could I be an author?
Yeah, I think you could.
Yes.
Yeah.
I added a line. I added a
Take
line.
sponsor. I'll take sponsor.
Like you were in the group chat.
Can you do that?
Wait, I think we're missed. Yeah. Oh, do I hear a motion to amend SSB 2024-1501 to strike the word 3? To strike 3 rounds of alternating pro-con debate and replace it with 2 rounds of alternating pro-con debate by unanimous consent.
So moved.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. All right. Do I hear a motion to amend SSB 2024-1501 to add Judiciary Chairman Aaron Rubai as an author and
You want to all of us sponsors?
Just, we
Yeah.
can all just sponsor
Yeah.
it if you
Who
want.
wants to sponsor too?
There you go. Everyone gets, you get a sponsor. You get a sponsor.
okay, I'm gonna let you guys add your names. Type your names on the document.
Well, can we type Austin's name?
Yeah.
How do we actually
I'm
type
not
on
even
the
inside
document?
then.
Oh,
I can't even.
BRITTON.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't really.
I don't even
want
know.
to-
Yeah, I don't even know
Yeah, I
how.
don't have
Someone
access.
just-
Oh, you guys don't have editing access. 'Cause I didn't. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't give you editing access.
Oh,
Okay.
you scumbag. Just kidding.
Imagine if I gave the entire chamber editing
Just
access.
kidding.
How much of a
I
problem
don't
that
want
would be.
it. I don't want
This
it.
would be subliminal things. Small thing. Will they notice it?
Dude, like someone
We
would
have to have
change a
notifications.
threshold without anyone knowing, and then we'd pass it.
Hey. Nah,
I'm
the
not
real
gonna
question
lie.
is, do I put health caucus chair?
I'm not writing that.
My question has been answered.
You want Joshua?
Sure.
I don't know which one.
Joshua,
Okay.
I think, is on the listserv.
I believe so.
On the website, sorry. Yeah.
I looked at the website 2 days ago, so.
Oh, that's
Not for you in particular.
Aw.
The hardest
But I
part.
do remember
R-A-N-S-O-N?
saying your name in particular,
Yeah, R-A-N-S-O-N.
Okay, cool. Thought it was an E for a second. I was kind of confused. Dude, the last names are killing me in the whole chamber. Okay, I
Do you
think
need me to spell that out for you?
Y-A-C-I-U-K.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, thank you.
Yours I only know because I've spent so many time messing it up.
I've typed it a million times. These
I put an H in it so many times because that's how I say it.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay, I believe that is
Yeah,
every.
me too.
Would you like Danny or Daniel?
Daniel.
Actually, oh, I put Danny. My bad. All right, that is everyone. All right, any motions at this time?
I move to pass SSB 1501, 2024-1501 by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Good job, everybody. Okay, really quickly, I want to pass some resolutions that were submitted because they're not here to present them. I don't think they will
I
be.
have a small amendment for my resolution that I passed because I forgot a link and I realized I should probably give y'all a link.
Which number?
It was source 10. Oh, the bill? It was like, sorry, it's 96, I believe. No, it's not 96, I lied.
98.
It's somewhere in mine. It's 80. 80.
80?
Yeah, 80.
Okay, everyone pull all of these up because we're gonna speed run a little bit. These shouldn't be too crazy. Okay. Oh, my computer's freaking out. 1 second.
Dude, block 'em.
80.
Frank, I could just make them myself.
98.
80, 98.
Oh, 96, sorry. 96, 98. That damn sleep pod one has been there for so
I
long.
want them to present.
99.
Did they fix what we were talking about last
99.
time?
He sent an email explaining it that I'll read to everybody. What else is there?
Can we go quicker?
We're gonna go quickly.
You want to add them
Don't
to a
worry.
block?
No, these will be super fast. Okay. We're now line for SSB 2024-1480.
I can just amend it myself, don't worry.
Yeah, okay. Fireman's presentation whenever you're ready.
So this is an interesting bill about irrigation. I've done a lot of stuff about water. There's a lot of the thing that made me spark this thought actually was the amount of busted sprinkler heads that we have here. You have to just overfill or shoot like a cannon into the sky. I don't know if you've seen one by Live West, but it shoots like 20 feet in the air. It's pretty ridiculous. And I've always thought like how much water that wastes. So I did a lot of research on how much water we actually do waste. It's listed in there. We apparently really suck in regard to our water use. It's 1.56 out of 5.0 on that rating. That's pretty bad. We're about 100 to 200 million gallons higher of water usage compared to other top universities, for example, Yale, as I sourced. But yeah, we need to just do better as a university that's very big about our science, environmentalism, and I guess just the fact that we have one of the best CALWAS programs in the whole nation, so, and the whole world actually, not even the whole nation, the whole world. So I feel like this is just something, one step of many to, I guess, mitigate concerns about our water usage, for example. I wait the rest of my time.
Do you have sources for the whereas clauses that state insufficient irrigation methods often result in over-irrigation, leading to the depletion of local water supplies?
I actually meant to actually have one of those. Oops.
And for the next one? And for the next one.
They were all the same source, so let me make sure. I think that was 10. That's the one that's missing. Hold on.
Holding.
Okay. But yes, I do have that source. Let me actually look at my Google Docs because it got deleted when I was entering, so. Let me find
Okay, while you find that, we're going to move on and then come
Yes,
back.
please move on.
Do I hear a motion to move into the consideration of SSP 2024-1496 by unanimous consent?
So
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. All right, seeing as there's no author or sponsor present, we move directly into debate. 5 minutes beginning now. So this one, I'm going to read the statement that he gave me, because this one we have tabled before because we didn't know what a Metro Naps sleep pod was. And let me find his email. A message for the Judiciary Committee from Roman and Logan. This resolution is in support of the installment of sleeping nap pods in Malachowski Hall. These nap pods are currently used at the Health Science Library, and provide users with a calming 20-minute nap session to relieve stress and preserve health. I believe they would cost about $12,985, which is a lot, so the plan is to gauge, 1, where these nap pods would be best utilized by students or be the most effective, if anywhere, currently waiting on a response from the Health Science Library, and 2, if the student body truly shows an interest in this initiative. Logan and I are in conversation with Gatorwell to see if they'd be interested in partnering with us and releasing a survey come fall on the issue. So, they've done the research, they've come back, they have statistics here. We've vetted the statistics, they're fine. They've kind of gone through everything we've told them to do, and I like it a lot. The proviso, I don't believe it should include VP of student life. That doesn't make sense. Or any of these people, to be totally honest. Why didn't he include the Gatorwell people? All right, we can include one of them. We should do facilities operations coordinator. The other two don't make sense. But yeah, it's an interesting idea. Basically this, yeah. Yeah, I think it's a good idea if students want it, and I think they addressed that in their email, which I'm very happy they sent. It's a very interesting idea that I don't think we've seen used before. So, yeah, they are expensive though. So, I mean, if we're in favor of it, we can vote for it on the floor, but I don't think they're violating anything in this resolution specifically. So yeah, is there any more debate? Seeing none, we're now into any motions at this time. Do I hear a motion to strike? In the proviso, Vice President for Student Life Heather White, Director of Facilities Operations Stephen Vaughn, by unanimous consent.
So moved.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. Now I'll line for any other motion at this time.
Move to pass SSB 2024-1496 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. We're now in line for SSP 2024.
I did email you.
Oh, you found it? Okay.
Yeah. Just looking at my Google Doc. It's pretty simple.
Oh.
You were correct. Those were supposed to have the exact same source. It's all about irrigation.
What?
And pesticides and fertilizers.
Antonio emailed me? What?
Not right now.
Okay.
I have one question. If we could do one code revision that Laurel asked me to pass.
Which one?
It's 1502.
Can we finish this one?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. Of course.
Come on, guys.
That one will take 25 seconds to
Okay.
present up here.
Let's
Where
amend this to put
You
those
emailed me?
sources.
I just did.
Is it source 10 is already put at the bottom of this?
No, source 10 is not there. That
Oh,
was
so
not
you need to
one.
add.
I added
and
source
then-
10 and then I need
Gotcha,
to put this
gotcha,
two
gotcha.
spots.
Where is it? I don't have the email.
Judiciary
Judiciary email?
Give me the website.
Yeah, judiciary email.
I'll read it letter for letter.
It's a whole report, so it's this one. It's a 15-page report.
I have no email.
What that part? You see? Can you see that?
Refresh.
I already sent it. I don't know.
Text it, dude.
Realistically, this isn't gonna make or break my day if this one doesn't get through this week.
Just needs to get through right now. There.
It's not in my email. I don't know what you want me to
Send
do.
at 2:08.
Yeah, like the last email I have is at 11:13.
Sorry.
So.
Okay, let's go to the next resolution and then come back to
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Do I hear a motion moving to the consideration of SSP 2024-1498 by unanimous
So moved.
consent? Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Which ones have we passed so far, by the way? I needed 2 minutes.
96 passed.
Okay, sick. Perfect.
I have, I think, all of them, but it would be nice to have in the minutes too.
Yeah, just for transparency and 1496.
Okay. Seeing as there is no author or sponsor present, did they? I think emailed me something as well. Nope. Okay, cool. 5 minutes of debate meeting now. Okay.
Yeah, this looks good. We should probably pass it.
Good proviso.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Great proviso. It's exactly who needs to see this.
Which one? 98?
Yep. It's just to counseling and wellness and Gatorwell.
Where commission?
All right.
It's pretty simple.
This is cool.
Simple,
It's
huh?
hard to find mental health resources that are available
Yeah.
here. Let me check the stats really quick that they
Okay.
cited.
That's why I wrote probably the longest resolution I've ever written.
What?
Remember when I wrote the fucking
Oh, yes. It.
all of it was
No.
substantial.
I mean, I think you've been beaten by the 17 separate resolutions in one section. I think that might be
Oh,
the
no, for
longest
sure, but I was
resolution
thinking-
packet ever submitted.
Well, I didn't see the resolution. I just did a single resolution.
That's probably true. Yours was very long.
I'll claim the most therefore let it be resolved. I think there was 72.
Wow.
And
How long did that take you?
it was my magnum opus because I didn't think I was coming back.
Formatting issue.
No.
Them?
Darn. Yep. Look at the last two therefore clauses that don't start with therefore.
Let it further be
Ah.
resolved. Good
Can we just,
shit.
can we just
Okay. Any more debate? I think it looks good. The statistics are checking out. Sources look good. It's a very reasonable thing to ask for. Any more debate? Seeing none. Now line for any motion at this time. Do I hear a motion to amend SSP 2024-1498 to amend the last two therefore let it be resolved clauses so that the second to last clause reads therefore let it further be resolved that, and the final one is therefore let it finally be resolved that.
So moved.
Unanimous consent.
Oh, so moved.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Sick.
Is it let it be further resolved or let it further be resolved?
Further be.
I thought so.
What was the one that Laura wanted?
It's 15:0 virtual things. Which one is that? 15:03.
Short film makeup
Yeah,
orientation?
or one of that
15.
one. I wrote it with Kayla. I told Laura and was like, I would love
Okay.
this. It's a small change, but it's substantial.
Very good.
All right, do I hear any more motions at this time?
I move to pass SSB 2024-1498 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Which one are we moving into?
Are you ready?
9, don't you? Do you have one more?
99.
Yeah, there's one more.
You have one more.
1499, yes. This I got an email about as well. I will pull that up. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. A message for the Judiciary Committee from, I guess this will be the presentation period, technically. I guess. This resolution is advocating for extending dining hall hours during the weeks of final exams. During exam season, research has been found that students study better later in the day and often have a sleep schedule that involves going to bed late at night. This change in sleep schedule and studying requires students to eat later at night. However, there are currently no dining hall locations open past 9 p.m. to accommodate this. This resolution hopes to change that by extending dining hall hours from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. or hopefully 11 p.m. The plan for doing this is to schedule a meeting with Florida Fresh Dining and Business Services to discuss the feasibility of this, and depending on the feasibility, to create a plan to have a testing period of this during the fall exam season, or create a survey to gauge student need for this to then show how effective this would be and to support funding being put towards this initiative. We're now in line for 5 minutes of debate, beginning now.
Only thing I see is a formatting issue where they just need to take some of the bold away. It's just not consistent across the document. That's it.
Bold?
Oh, on mine it shows up
It
like
shows
the
super
whole
bold.
thing is bold, and then that part is just like.
I don't see it.
I don't see that.
I don't see it.
Yeah, it's
No,
not.
I see it.
It's fine on my end.
All right.
I'm with you. I see the level.
Oh.
Seems like it's very.
Dude, who's making these
Yeah.
provisos? This is phenomenal. This is so good. VP of Business Services, Director of Food and Beverage Services, Vice President of Florida Fresh, Director of Florida Fresh.
All
When you
right.
get back to mine, that's pretty good for pizza.
Dude, this is pretty good. I don't know.
Any other issues?
No.
It's not like demanding that we create one. I like that. Okay. Let me look at the sources really quick. South Florida and FSU have dining options open later. That's cool.
Could be better.
It looks good to me. I don't see any issues. The sourcing looks good. Proviso looks good. Format looks good. Except for it needs to be bold, but that's fine. All right. Any more debate on this? Seeing none, we're now in line for any motions at this time.
Move to pass SSB 2024-1499 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. All right. That. Okay. What are we moving into now?
Is it 15?
1580.
1503 or 1480?
I mean, I wanted to ask you to get the email.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Who knows? Yep, I did.
Sick. It's a pretty great source.
Okay, so you just added 10 to
Yes,
all of
'cause
those.
it-
Did you
'cause it
change
used
the?
all of them.
Okay, it's just 10. There's no new source.
10 was the new source, but like that, I didn't have it originally in the doc. 10 was not originally included in the original doc. Like it just said bracket 10.
Oh,
It didn't have the
oh,
actual
yes.
source.
Okay,
Everything with 10 was just
Yeah.
that one that has it.
That's it.
got it. I don't know how that happened.
Dude, my Google
What did we
Docs are
already-
crazy sometimes.
Were we?
I already presented.
Yeah.
so
Are we at Q&A? Or
I
debate?
can just wait presentation again.
Yeah. Well, technically we already moved through it, so we're in
Yeah.
debate right now.
Debate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Someone has to move back into the consideration of it. Do you already do that?
I moved to. How do I say it? I moved to go back to the consideration
Sure.
of SSB 2024-1480
All right.
by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? You're so close, dude.
I'm gonna do my roll call vote next time.
Please don't. Please do not. All right. Is there any more debate? Those are the only things I didn't see sourcing for. The rest of this looks good.
The proviso. We need to look at the proviso.
Oh, that is a great proviso. Yeah.
Nice sources.
Ooh, I forgot to. Okay, yeah. Never mind. Is there any debate? Seeing none, we're now in line for final privilege.
Oh wait, sorry.
Do we need to do the amendment? To add
Yes, you
10?
do.
Okay, can we just say like the specified? I'll just do it. You can just tell me if it's fine. I move to amend SSB 2024 1480 to add the specified source under or next to source 10 in the references, the citations, and then add 10 to the specified whereas clauses. Can I just
Yep.
say that, or should I
Yeah.
read the first word of them? Okay. By unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Right. I move to pass SSB 2024-1480 by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Nice. Are we doing the one more?
I would take 20 seconds to
Do it.
present it.
Oh my
Cool.
God, do it. You better
15:01.
fastest 20 seconds.
To consider it, okay.
Yes. Someone
I move to consider SSP 2024-1503 by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. We're now on line 1503. Seeing as there is an author present, do 5 minutes of presentation.
So this basically just gives Laurel the option of doing like a video that like an unskippable quiz with like time checks and stuff for makeup presentations or makeup orientations only. Makeup orientations are really hard to schedule, that we found out. So this kind of just takes a load off the INC chair, and it's unskippable and it requires them to pay attention. So I waive the rest of my time.
All right.
That was like 19.5 seconds.
There we go. Nice.
Wait. Okay. Yeah, we're now on line for 5 minutes of Q&A.
So the current process for it is they have to do it in person,
Yeah.
reschedule, and those are pretty hard to do.
And they can still do in person. This is maybe scheduled
Uh-huh.
because like I want to give the option in case there are difficulties. But yes, by current procedure,
Gotcha.
it has to be in person.
Okay, so this allows for the option of it being virtual, but it doesn't require that a virtual one is offered.
Yes.
Okay, Laurel agreed to this.
Yes.
Okay.
You can ask her.
Sounds great. I have no more questions. Any more questions? Seeing none, we're now on for 5 minutes of debate. Yeah, this is interesting, just because we don't have makeup things, or you don't have virtual stuff in general. Typically, it was decided that virtual things are bad for Senate. I kind of believe that as well. But if the INC chair who specializes in this makeup says that people can't show up and it's a huge hindrance and we're kicking people out, maybe it's time to make an exception. I like that it's not forceful in any regard. I think this is fine. I'd love to hear some debate on this on the floor because this is an interesting change to our current operating procedure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Any more debate? Seeing none. Now line 4, 2 minutes final privilege.
I'll take 15 seconds and I'll stay true to that. Yeah, I really am excited to see if this gets implemented. Again, it's an if, it needs to happen. I obviously would prefer it to be in person because that's just the better procedure. But in case something happens, boom, I waive.
All right, sounds good. Any motions at this time?
Move to pass SSP 2024-1503 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. All right. Before the meeting ends, because we are ending the meeting, hopefully, I'd like to say that I've selected Senator Bravo as my vice chair.
Oh, congrats.
But yeah, great meeting, everybody. That was a long one. How do we feel about Sunday meetings?
I love it.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Next Sunday I can, but every other one I can.
Cool. All right. So, good stuff. I need that as quickly as possible because Antonio has requested the minutes.
I hope he's ready for me not to include why.
All right. Yep. Okay. Are there any motions at this time?
I move to adjourn by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to adjourn by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. This meeting is adjourned Sunday, July 14th at 2:25 p.m.